jungle that might actually work out and bring them into a point where you do see those major carries get to this late game prowess where they themselves can be the initiator. But that means no bleeding, a lot of reserved play to start things off, and just making sure that you don't give over wasteful kills here or there. You don't want to see a bit of a strength come out of anybody the like of Izo, Cold Throw, even Rovix, who won't come online till the mid to late.
Okay, and right away here, we are onto the Rift, Zephyr, and I like what I'm seeing coming out of Sac State Green right away here. They're not going to sit back and let Colombia dictate the map. They're looking for some level 1 action, roaming together as 5 here.
Now, they are able to clear out that bot side. If they step out of this bush here, Shoga's going to get a quick read. We'll see if Garrett can land that flash death sentence, but not quite. They do expend what is the flash there here on this Jhin, so that can definitely be something to potentially play around, but we already discussed in draft, not quite an early jungle, not quite the roam that we might see there, but still a great take.
Yeah, and you know what? Burning a flash from the enemy AD carry for your support's flash is a trade you take any day of the week. Pair that with the fact that Chuki's actually had to start Black Shield now. A lot of times in lane, we'll see Morgana start to Dark Binding if you want kill pressure, or, you know, with that Tormented Shadows to really just try and push the lane if you want. Black Shield is kind of the option of last resort when you feel like you're going to get shoved in. So Venti, Garrett buying themselves a little bit more proactivity, a little bit more safety at that level 1.
Now, I will bring this up because it is a little bit scary. They get that early information. They've now got a pin directly on Sterling here on this Nocturne. And we just discussed how, great, you take a flash. Maybe you can look to capitalize at any given point one or another here. But with information like this being provided, the tracking will be on point.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, since I have Sac State Green as well, they will roughly know where Cold Throw is. They did get a ward on Colombia's blue buff there, so they're going to be able to tell, okay, Cold Throw is not here. They will not be able to tell exactly where Cold Throw is unless he went buff to buff, and this might reveal him here. He does get spotted. Now, Sac State Green has that same information, so it's matched.
Matched for the time being here. Don't think there's going to be anything exciting at any given point now in this case here. You already see a lot of that strong side aggression, though, coming out of Columbia College. Just look at the natural state of most of these lanes here. We look at Rovex in the mid, already pressuring out NorCal quite well, I would say, for something that you wouldn't reasonably expect, but taking advantage of that extra range and making good work of it. The like is also the same here in the bottom.
Yeah, and my eyes are drawn to this bot lane because Cold Throw roughly knows where Sterling ought to be at this point in time. And Nocturne can't really counter-gank effectively into the Lee Sin at early levels here. So Cold Throw, forget bot lane, never mind. He just went straight on invading. He's hunting Sterling here, and instead we'll just push him out and take his Raptors. Yeah,
at this point, Lee Sin is in a much better state. There's not much that Sterling can do. He can throw the fear on him, maybe get him to walk away, but it's not going to be much of a kill presence. Meanwhile, in the mid lane there, I know we just caught the very corner of it, but Rovix pressuring this Orianna, a force back already in the works, and probably the TP too.
Force back, and the flash had to be burnt away from NorCal there. So that's really, really rough to see. And I guess that's why we saw Sterling just kind of walking away from the bot side. Knew they couldn't contest this. I want to point out too, that Cold Throw did not fully clear the Raptors. He left one small chicken to try and mess up Sterling's jungle here. So Sterling has to go clear that before he gets to full clear his bot side a second time.
He doesn't have any vision regarding it, so he's kind of a bit lost. He has to catch that mid wave to make sure that they don't lose out completely there. But meanwhile, in the top lane, Izo taking aggressive trades and no stun into the wall there. That has got to hurt. Just barely clipping the terrain. Bio Banana making their way out that first blood of the game.
Ooh, boy. The thing with the Aatrox Poppy matchup is that Poppy, you kind of just have to try and neutralize the Aatrox there. If Aatrox starts to get rolling, well, Poppy can't really lane effectively against him, and we said that the Poppy has some answers to the engage potential from this Lee Sin here, but that's not enough. Garrett taking a beating down here right now, and I know Sterling's nearby, but I don't see what Sterling can do about this.
Not much at this point here. Now, Shogo is taking some heftier trades, but Chuki's being there to constantly enable him. You saw how well he was able to work forward there, knowing he had the protection of that Black Shield. The death sentence comes down. It does not matter. So constant pushing, constant levels here. And now at this point, sitting what is 2 waves ahead in terms of CS. That is a huge chunk that will only continue to build.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the CS differential right now for Venti. I mean, you're the Caitlyn here. You're the one with the range advantage, but it's Shogo and Chuki's just shoving in constantly. And this is where, you know, I was a bit worried about how just stacked the talent was in Columbia College. Number 1 from EUNE. It's showing right now. They're absolutely dominating here. And with every lane pushing, the problem for Sac State Green is that your jungler is no longer safe. Coltro can continue to invade, slow down Nocturne. Despite that, though, Sterling is actually up half a level on Coltro right now. And I don't know how he did it. I think it's more from that mid lane than anything else here. But it's going to be key, because if he can hit 6 first, unlock Paranoia first, then Sac State can look to make some sort of counterplay.
Well, for now here, we do see Colthrow already a hindrance onto that drag right there, pulling it out, going in. They're going to pick that one up quite quickly. You actually see a rotation from Chuki's as well. They want to make sure that they secure this quite nicely. And Sterling is on the side there, so they're going to spot out the major control that is given here. I don't think they're going to make any apparent play, but they did, you know, Sterling, you got to try. You always got to try for the steal. You'll never know. Oh, wait, hold on. Rovex, meanwhile, found that kill on NorCal.
Yeah, I mean, while you're trying to go for Dragon Ball, I'll just take your mid laner out, right? And NorCal did not teleport the first time, so it's still available should he want to get back in topside, though. Bio Banana.
That's a big flash, but it's going to be wasted there. ISO picking that one. But finally, we do see great response. Garrett able to find the kill that they needed here onto Shogo. And sadly, it does end up on Garrett, but that's a good sight to see. That's the pressure that we wanted. Venti should have that range rat, should have that advantage. The early levels to push and play.
I think it's a great sight to see, Zephyr, but we didn't see it because it's so shocking.
I know, we haven't seen any of these. My apologies, personally. They're just being too quick out there tonight.
It is, and it's a little surprising where it's coming from. Rovex into NorCal, the solo kill potential. I mean, it really shouldn't be there too much, but I think Rovex is just applying way more pressure than NorCal is expecting. Likewise in the top side, but that bot lane kill, I want to go back a bit to that because every time we look bot, Shogo and Chuki's were dominating here. So I don't know how Venti found that kill, but more of that, please, because Sac State Green, they need something to come through. Now, Sterling is level 6, Paranoia is unlocked, and a potential thing you could do is just go for that bot lane again here. Turn off the lights, look for that gank. Black Shield is not going to save you from Nocturne just diving in. He's all physical damage here.
No, at that point, it'll definitely capitalize. Meanwhile, ISO continuing to run down this top side here. It doesn't matter how many steel played, or my apologies, steel played steel caps. Wow, backwards on that one tonight. Either way, doesn't matter how much you put up in a front of a tank here, he's still going to continue to walk forward. I'm actually surprised that the CS differential has played out as well as it has here for Bio Banana. So technically, I would say playing out weak side a little bit better than expected, but the 2 deaths definitely spell for weakness there.
Yeah, you can see that from the gold toggle there, that the bulk of the difference is mostly in the mid lane and the top lane. And the top lane isn't from CS, that's from kills, right? Iso's got 2 kills. I'm more worried about what's going to happen with the gold now that Coltro just took Herald solo. No pressure whatsoever. Sac State Green can't even get the vision out here. They can potentially look to try and get some early plates, but I actually want to see them hold it a little later here when you've got the turrets prepped, and then you can go for the plates, get a kill as well, and hey, who knows, maybe you can even take first turret depending on which lane you drop it in.
Well, for now, we see Sterling clear out the bottom end of the map, makes the rotation towards topside. I believe he was spotted out there by ISO. For the time being, he's just looking to clear that control. Unlikely going to walk out just scot-free. Not like they could really take the absolute man monster that he is, but he does make sure to get rid of that blast cone on the way out.
I think the moment we see ISO actually invading and fighting 1v2 and taking your buffs away is, well, it's the moment he lives up to his name as the World Ender, right? Like, Aatrox, I mean, you shouldn't be allowed to do that. As it stands, though, getting to do that is scary, and TPs are being called into the bot lane here.
Trying to find some level. Rovex able to find a little bit of that knockback with the ultimate. Garrett is taken out by that curtain call as ISO tries to lay this one even further forward. Going to rotate around the terrain there, see if you can get a little bit of a lockdown onto NorCal there. Finds the chains and able to get the pullback into the absolute demise there. The World Ender ending more than just worlds there.
No way, right, Zephyr? No way that was planned. The pullback tether into the Dark Binding. Tell me that isn't true, because that looked so clean.
I don't know if planned is an interesting word to use. I feel like it's just instinct at that point. You already know the chain's gonna land. You just throw the binding out.
Oh man, call throws coming in right now. Garrett and Venti can't even get to the turret here. That is brutal to see. I do want to point out, Herald was dropped here shortly before the play into the bot lane came down, and the mid lane turret is barely standing. It's at one plate right now here, and I'm scared for NorCal, because if ever... what is that, one health?
All right, that was an understatement. You made it sound like there was at least a play. That's one auto away.
Hey, man, I was just looking at the minimap. It said one. And I guess one health is still 1 plate. So, but my goodness, a minion could sneeze at that and it's going down. NorCal, mid lane is no longer safe for you here. I think Sac State Green, the best play you can make around this mid lane turret right now is you bait it. You keep NorCal there. You have Sterling hover around and just get like, okay, Rovex, you know you want to dive me. You know, one auto is all it takes to take this turret, and then you just spring Sterling on him.
And now Sac, they're going to be going for this Infernal there, but no clear on that control ward. So they got complete vision. They're able to take the dragon, but I'm wondering if there's going to be any punishment. You see the aggressive take here from Rovex. He's going to try to slide through on the back end, gets the pushback into a full knock in. There's the paranoia to kind of blind this one out to go for a little bit longer. The response is strong, but Chookies with a good soul shackles is going to keep the rush in line. He's forced to flash in the face of Venti. Now Shogo and the rest of these carries step up. Curtain called down. Sterling flashes out of that wave, but under turret, their doom is nigh. No. There goes Sterling at the last bullet there of the current call. He's going to turn around, try to get the ace holding. He does find the response onto Rovex that he wanted. Clears out the vision. No binding to be had, but the wave is crashing. See if he can work his way out of the demise here. Shogo steps up. One auto, no root of touch of the binding and a turret execution. 50 caliber net, but no skill shot. That's a kill, and it sadly is rewarded with none.
The idiom, like shooting fish in a barrel, has never been more appropriate. Here they just had them stuck under the turret, and they were taking pot shots the entire time here. Now topside, Bio, Banana. We've seen this happen before.
Get out, bud.
Oh, man. Sac State Green just need to start grouping up. None of their lanes are surviving solo right now. And hey, it happens. You fall behind here. And if you can't survive alone, then just start grouping up. Yeah, you're going to lose turrets, but at least you'll keep your lives.
I will say they did not look terrible when they did group. There was a good moment there where they were able to get the response they want, I believe, out of the shockwave from NorCal. It was only that soul shackles that really disrupted the flow of that fight and caused everyone to kind of reassess back off. Had that not been the case, because that was a flash expended to do just that, I feel like we might have seen something a little bit different there.
Perhaps, but topside. This is different. It's a 2v2. Never mind, 2v1.
2v1 already there. Random, maybe a little early. Throws the paranoia out, tries to return back in to Chuki's there, but sadly, ISO is just too much to handle. And yes, NorCal is there to maybe look and capitalize. That's going to be the one kill, but now they have to worry about the response here from Aatrox. The chains once again here contesting to pull him back, but he is going to find his way over the wall with a big flash there. Iso does not care though. Ooh, bit of a shame there on that shockwave not quite hitting.
No. We're misinterpreting that, Zephyr. The shockwave hit exactly what it wanted to hit. You're showing your dominance there, asserting dominance. Yes. I just survived you. I picked up a kill. I don't even need the shockwave. The shockwave wasn't going to kill Iso anyway, so all good there. Top lane turret, however, is probably going to fall. I mean, no one's left to defend it, and Call Throw is hovering to make sure that should anyone show up, they're going to dive this.
I don't think anyone's damaged. Just move on. let it fall. Recuperate. Go back to this whole concept. The team fights, the play around the 5-man. I was just talking about how great that kind of looked.
And it did. I mean, NorCal is, picking up the kill at the back end of that. Yes, the shockwave was a 3-man shockwave in the bot lane as well, which delayed things if they had more damage. And unfortunately, they're down 8,000 gold at 15 minutes. That is a massive deficit here. And for,
no. Maybe not Garrett to go down first. Venti's the one to look at. Shogo just has to find the one extra auto, but a flame, a turnaround doesn't let it happen. Bio Banana and a good ace in the hole. Chunks it out with a stun in the wall for a double here for Venti.
Well, there's your teamwork, Zephyr.
That's
You're
the
asking
teamwork.
for it. And they did it. They got the numbers advantage here. They got the kills. And hey, they closed the gold gap a little bit. What did it cost them? A teleport? And Herald. Call Through managed to pick up Herald here. And if you're trading 1 kill for Herald, it's worth it. 2 kills for Herald, kind of dicey. 2 kills for Herald when you're Saxon Green, that's a win.
That is a win for them. Now, it's a toss-up because I want to praise Sac State because, yes, the play looked good. They turned it around, but that health on Venti was so low. In any other world, that probably might have landed out to be a kill. The turnaround was great, but in terms of how that fight may have changed, had the kill come through as damage continues to assess and become greater here, I don't know if it would have been as clean.
True, but doesn't matter. Almost doesn't matter here, Zephyr. It didn't happen anywhere
it's the what
in
ifs.
this timeline.
I will say it is my prediction for the future here as we continue to see these carries grow. You're not going to have those extra moments, but for now, it's going to be that dive onto Rovex. It's a good Emperor's Divide to keep him alive for a little bit longer. Sterling goes for a big flash. I mean, he wants to finish this one out. Now, Izo is there for response. He throws out the World Ender quite immediately there, but a good fear is going to make sure he's stunned for a little bit longer, but the rest of the carries have a ride for a complete wipe on that chase. Izo's looking for one more here on to Garrett. Potentially, he still gets to play around with that World Ender. Oh, Garrett's trolling just a little bit there. The pole does come back there, and Izo's over the wall. Maybe a little bit too early, but back through the edge of that portal. Izo jumping borders there, finally finds the kill. Oh, I don't know. That was a little cheeky there.
That was a Goomba stomp from Izo coming over the wall. Just hopping onto Garrett there. Hey, you know what? Garrett survived long enough. What you gonna do? He bought time for his team at least, but Shelly drop means top side's cracked. Izo pushing in with Chuki's mid lane. Soon to maybe be cracked. No, enough backup is there that they actually managed to keep the inhibitor top side standing and inhibitor turret mid lane standing. But while all this is happening, Shogo is just chunking away bot side.
Oh, maybe Rovex into the wall there. That's a good kill to pick up. One on to Sterling Archer. They at least get the single response there, but you have to remember they're losing the Dragon. They lost the 4 just before this to extend what is now an 11K gold league here for Colombia.
That's rough. I said this in game 1 of today when we saw this happen, that Baron is usually where you start seeing 10K gold leads break out. Baron hasn't been done. Baron hasn't spawned and will not spawn for 2 more minutes here. Columbia College has already cracked the base. And for Sac State Green, what you're going to do in a situation like this? You're so far behind here. You want to look for a pick, but what pick tools do they have? Death Sentence coming through from Garrett, Paranoia from Sterling, maybe. Potentially. Shogo has been stepping up very far. Rovex has been stepping up very far, and they found Shogo again.
Oh, they don't find Shogo there. He's got that black shield to keep him safe. And how much was expended? The Paranoia is now down. That's one of your big playmaker tools, and that's out.
Well, the cooldown on that at this point isn't the longest. It
There's
should be up in maybe about a minute and a half.
time to make plays in between that. Windows are there for a reason.
But there's no major objective. So Colombia, all they're going to be able to do is really just shove into your turrets, into your lanes here. Now they're looking for Izo, but Rovex is in Izo's back pocket here.
5v2, I don't know if it'll work out too well for Colombia. I do like Bio Banana. They're trying to start the lineup, but Izo's response on an Orcal is too tough to behold. Finally, just, throw out the Keeper's Verdict. He's already shown that he is a danger. Just get him out of there.
Oh my goodness.
Call. Just block. Face block. That's a big wall.
It's just slowing. Look at Chuki's. Chuki's is in there. Oh, behind them. They're trying to get a binding. You doubt it, Zephyr. You doubt it if Izo and Rovex, the original members here of Columbia College, the holdovers from last year, could 2v5. There's your answer. Yes, they can. Sure, they didn't actually kill anything.
Wait, hold on. Don't spell that one. They didn't actually 2v5 per se. They just kind of just got him to go leave. They just showed that there was death imminent. You know that one scene from One Punch Man where Genos gives him his first taste of what is an actual real fight, and it just spells death on screen? That's what I was thinking of.
Very nice. I have not seen it. I've only read the manga.
Oh
which the
boy,
drawings are terrible,
get your
by the
butt
way.
watching anime sometime soon. I need Beatdown here. Beatdown would heal me.
Yeah, too bad. Beatdown's resting after the last game, and Izo is not. Izo's in the base, and he's zoning out all of them.
Izo's
alone,
in your face.
pretty much. Yeah, Izo's 7-0-3 right now. He is fully at Road Ender state. He can not only 1v2, he can
What's
do
a
more.
turret?
The turret, though.
Oh, World Ender Paranoia. They're going to try, but the health is too much. He finally's taken out. Deep dive here from Rovex. Emperor's Divide. Chucky's deep. It's going to be the follow-up from the Sonic Wave. Venti now the only one left alive, but a root under turret. Cold Throw with their Dragon's Rage and a full ace here for Columbia College.
Doesn't matter. Sac State Green killed Izo. Raid boss down. They win, right? They win, right? That's it, guys, right?
All right. Raid boss down. Go next.
Sac State Green killed Izo. What was the cost? Everything. Literally everything. They got aced on it. Their Nexus turrets are just going down at this point. They will actually respawn. The death times aren't that long. We're only at 21 minutes, but I
don't know.
Yeah, what are you going to do? TP coming in from Izo.
Izo here, and that's not where you want to see the rest of the team. Flame to
Rovex
pull him
joining.
back in. It's a good death sentence to take him to half health, but the heal is huge. Venti still is able to find the pick that they want with the 50 calibers, but it's not at the response there of Bio Banana. 4v4, big root from Shogo, but a death sentence took to pull him back into it. He's forced to flash, but the follow-up from Venti secures the kill. Meanwhile, Nexus turned down. Paranoia deep here. There's a big divide as we do see the minions kill NorCal. 3v3. It's tighter and tighter here is now Columbia. They are assessing the final situation. It's just the Nexus. A good shield from Cold Throw keeps him alive as Robux stacks up deep into the back, but he's stunned with the death sentence into the turret. But either way, Columbia College still find victory at 22 minutes in.
Zephyr, we said it was David versus Goliath. We were a bit worried about how things were going to go here. And sure enough, Columbia College take game one. But Sac State Green did kill Izo. And I'm going to call it right now. The MVP for Columbia College was the Minions. They killed NorCal. They took the Nexus.
That's
Minions
true.
won everything.
There was that
Not biased
Oriana
at all.
who did happen to go down, executed by the Minions there. Okay. Oh, we're on a high here, Random. We're on an absolute blazing high from that extreme and absolute gap from Columbia. But I gotta ask you, before we move on, before we start to assess this next game, where did it go wrong here? Where did we see Sac falter? Because this just felt like, I don't know, at least to me, it kind of came out of nowhere. There was just suddenly such strength, some prowess from Columbia.
I mean, for Sac State Green, they didn't do anything wrong. They actually played that right. I know. Don't give me that weird look, Zephyr. I know.
Hold on.
60,000 gold doesn't sound right, but their macro moves were right. They tried to make the right moves. We saw, Sterling going in with that knockdown, trying to make things happen. The problem was laning. And unfortunately, they just got outmatched in their lanes. I think going into game two, Sac State Green, you've got to acknowledge right now that, okay, we are not going to lane as well as Columbia College. So either you pick a whole bunch of ridiculously strong lane champions, you play strictly for the early game. Step one, survive it. Or you kind of go, okay, we're not going to win the lane anyways. Let's pick something like a Wombo Combo Comp, something that would do very well in the mid game. Exactly. Sack your individual laning phases and go for the teamwork play, the big team fights here in game two, because they did have the right sense. The team fights were actually not bad. NorCal, props to him. Yes, he died to a minion, but his shockwaves were also on point in those fights. Great positioning coming up from Venti as well in a lot of those fights to try and stay alive to near the end.
You know what? I can see it. I don't know if they're going to go the full aggression with the champions for the early game. I'd be very surprised if we see that come out of Sac State. But their team comps, when they were full 5-man, did not look absolutely terrible. We had the monster that was Izo that kind of swayed my beliefs for a majority of those fights because he really just worked his way in there, and he was the equivalency of maybe 3 champions running at you at the same time. But either way, in those little bit of the inklings where the windows happened to be a little bit more down for Columbia, we still saw good team-oriented play out of Sac State. Now, I agree. Laning isn't going to quite work out for them, but they also need to sustain and make sure that they don't bleed out. I do feel like a little bit of those 2 kills early, some of the extra gold, the absurd plate advantage that did come out in that first 10 minutes, that is all a massive acceleration that Colombia can take advantage of. So yes, they can play weak side, but they've got to mitigate a lot more.
Yeah, and huge props to call throw as well for Columbia College. Yes, the lanes were just all outright winning, so call throw didn't look as impressive because he didn't have to go and actually go to the lanes to help them win. But his control over the objectives, the constant invading as well, set Sterling a little bit behind. Sterling did an amazing job actually still hitting 6 somehow before Coltro, but Coltro was in there annoying them, slowing the pace down quite a lot here. So you've always got to keep in the back of your mind too that, hey, we've got to stem the bleeding, but we didn't really get tested too hard by Coltro here. Game 2, if you do manage to stem the initial bleeding from just your laning,
there's still
Coltro is going to be interesting to deal with.
Well, Goliath strikes once, but David isn't quite knocked out yet. We'll be right back here as we work our way towards getting into game 2, which could potentially be our final game here of match 3. Stick around. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the NECC. If you're just joining us, we're coming off of a hot game one where Colombia absolutely gapped Sac State Green and really put us all into our seats. If any of us were standing, we are no longer doing so, all right? That being said, we work our way into our game two, and we've already addressed the current kind of David Goliath matchup, but Random, you've got some more to touch on here before we actually get into it.
No, I just think that there's no way to
go
ahead. We just need to reinforce this more and more, because I think we need to set expectations going into game two here. We said it in the beginning, Columbia College is incredibly stacked. I do think that they might be the most mechanical team in the division by a pretty decent margin here.
Could be in finals, don't know.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they don't make finals. Sac State Green, on the other hand, I mean, they are a club, they're a fairly new club. I said that in the very beginning here. They're still finding their feet. They don't have, challenger level players in their squad together. And that was why I was harping very much at the end of last game about the fact that their teamwork still shines through, still shows through. Now, I'm very curious to see how the draft goes for game two here, because if they're not picking, big team fight tools here, then I'm going to be very, very scared for how this is about to proceed into game two, because the laning was brutal.
You did say there is an alternative path. They could just go hard aggression and try to take the lane to lane wins, but we did discuss how there is such an advantage for Colombia in terms of the individual skill set that did lead and kind of make up that first game victory.
Zephyr, are you late to a date or something? Why are you trying to speed run this?
Whoa, what do you mean, man?
Well, when you do an early draft, it's very 50-50, right? Either you win or you lose. But if you lose, it goes really quickly if an early game focused draft falls apart here. So it's very, very, very high risk. Personally, I'm a conservative person. I guess that's why I'm a telecaster.
You put that there. You said it earlier. I was not the one who brought up early game drafts, okay?
Are we sure about that?
Yes, we are!
Well, I mean, it'll be exciting. We'll have to see how that goes. I would prefer a team fight oriented comp. As we go in, though, bans already coming out, and at least for Columbia College on the blue side here, exactly the same bans. For the side of Sac State, they actually ran the exact same bans too on the red side.
Well, exact same bans, but now looking for the setup you discussed. This is the team fight orientation. The big thing to note, that's a major change, of course, is Sterling now on that Xin Shao. So a bit more early presence potentially coming into this game.
Okay, I like the Tom Kench as well. I mean, that is another tanky top right in the wheelhouse of Bio Banana here. But I think Tom is a bit better for lane right now. He doesn't really have terrible matchups for the most part. Should do pretty well into Gangplank in the early game. Galio coming through from NorCal. This is a pretty big switch up here from what we saw last game. The Orianna was an attempt to carry those big team fight ultimates here. Galio's got a big team fight ultimate as well, but he doesn't have quite as much damage. So it looks like they're going to rely very heavily on this bot lane pickup for Venti.
We'll have to see what that may work out to be, but personally, I do like the pickup on the Galio because, once again, it's orienting towards that win condition we discussed, the team-oriented play. And when you don't have the opportunity to actually make moves on your own, you have to look to play with someone else. You have to look for those rotations. Now, yes.
I love you. I love you so much. We called for early game. They picked Xin Zhao. That's early game. Tom Kench, good laning. Great. We called for a team fight. They picked Yasuo AD carry. I love it right here. They've got the setup for it as well. Galio's heroic entrance after, Sterling initiates with that Shin. It's really, really good setup. The question now, though, is that can Venti survive the lane? Because Yasuo's biggest problem is trying to deal with these ranged carries. Yes, Yasuo can pressure, but against Xayah Rakan there's a lot of CC, there's a lot of crowd control coming through, and Xayah is great at dodging up all these knockups.
Oh, it's definitely tough to work this one out there. I don't think Shogo, though, will be maybe the guys of who they're looking to pick out. Hopefully it's not, because I do see that Featherstorm warfing what is some of these ultimates out of the way at any given point here. But before we move forward, before we dig into this anymore, I do want to level back and refer back to those expectations, because this is something I think will build into the discussion here. At the end of the day, Colombia is the bar here. They are the team you look to beat. You look to make your way towards essentially becoming equivalent to if you are competing within the NECC. And trust me, it's not just Columbia. There's a lot of other really great teams that we're starting to look at in terms of playoff contention. That being said, Sac State, they're new. They're green. They've got ahead. That's hilarious. They're green and they're green. Wow, I'm great. Anyways, moving on here. This is that realm where you look at these individual plays, their choice of decisions. You say, okay, you might not be 100% here, but this is something you can build on and become a much stronger org if you play into that. We've already acknowledged the team play. We look at this composition, Galio, Tom, the hard carries in that bottle, and Venti now being on the offside, maybe to play into that double knockup that is available. Great. That is a win con. You're playing towards it and you're doubling down on it. It's just taking stuff like that and really hard crafting it and defining it so that you potentially can see yourself into the finals here.
Yeah, take it as a learning experience.
Right.
And I know some people in chat have said, oh, when there's this big a gap, you don't get that much off the experience. To which I reply, look at the wildcard teams at Worlds, right? There used to be a massive gap, and sure, it looks like they're not learning anything, but I guarantee you they are learning. And every time they go back to their own regions, they improve as well. Sac State can afford to learn. And like I already said, I think Draft 2 already a big step in the right direction. They're willing to experiment. They're willing to try things. That is the spirit of a challenger here. Go win. Set small goals. Start with a single goal. Kill Izo, right? He's on Gangplank this time.
Yeah.
Very killable. Okay, first you kill Izo.
Right.
Okay, we can do that. Rovex over pushing. We try kill Rovex. Okay, step 2, Shogo. Step 3, okay, you killed all 3. As long as you didn't give it too much up, you're on the path to success. And baby steps, kind of go in. Now, we talked about Sac State. I do want to touch a little bit on Columbia College because yes, we know they're mechanically skilled and all that, but they still have to draft and they still have to have a composition. So let's look at what they actually did with that. Okay, GP top.
Okay. Yeah, let's look at that.
GP top, Lee Sin Jungle, LeBlanc, Zaya, Rakan. Very squishy champions across the board. They don't have a single tank here. They are going all in for damage. And I have seen teams falter with this. Yes, they went the speed run route here. If they get off to a roaring success, they're just going to run you over in record time. But it's risky. And if you can find some kills, I was half memeing when I said step 1, step 2, etc. But actually, if you do find those early kills here, they are squishy. And if you start to get ahead, if your Yasuo gets ahead here, a single last breath catching, 3, 4 members. It doesn't even matter which 3 or 4 members because they're all squishy. You can win that fight and you can snowball. You can take turrets. Every time you win a team fight like that, it should be 1, 2 turrets, 1, 2 major neutral objectives. And then next thing you know, you're in their base at their nexus.
Right. It's definitely a tall order, though, the desires that we spell out here. So, yes, we walk into this garnering our already set expectations, but I'm, of course, looking. We come out of that first game. We know there was the stemming of the bleeding that they already did a decent job at. I'm looking for more towards perfection here because that's what it really does take to really beat Columbia College. So the deaths on Bio Banana early, some of those earlier picks we see around what was that Dragon areas they look to contest. You got to be a lot more careful, especially since they are drafting as early as they are. There is that mid game, and I think that is the strongest and most crucial point for Sac State to play through. And if they're able to work through the early game, I honestly don't think people like this Zaya, that LeBlanc on Rovex, are going to be at the point where they really roll and dominate. And that could be something.
Exactly, Zephyr. I mean, the early game, I think, is going to be kind of even slightly favored to the side of Sac State. The mid game, though, that's going to be the power trough coming through for Columbia College when your team fight composition for Sac State is at its peak. You're on a bit of a timer. You need to maximize that because if we're past the mid game, once we hit that 35 minute mark, I just want to harken back to the second match of the day. The first game of the second match, Concordia versus King's College, we saw a gangplank in that game. Yes, and that gangplank was pretty much 1v5ing a lot of those fights here. Izo is familiar with how to play this gangplank. Yeah, I know people mean on him on Twitter a little bit for his gangplank, but no, it's solid here. And if he hits that point with this gangplank, it can become that raid boss once again that we saw last game with the Aatrox.
Well, for now, we finally make our way into game 2. Of course, if you're just joining us, this is Columbia College versus Sac State Green. And as you can see there on the board, Columbia College is currently 1-up. We've already set our expectations, but we still haven't introduced ourselves. I'm your play-by-play caster, Zephyr, of course, joined by the lovely Random Minion caster.
Yes, the current representative of the champion last game who solo killed NorCal at the end.
Oh, yes, that's true.
My peoples are winning this.
Oh, my lord.
Hey, man. I just want to see another minion kill in this game. Doesn't even have to be like a solo minion kill with no like assist credits.
Oh, man.
If a minion gets a last hit, I'm just going to be so happy this game.
Dude, call in C9 blue buff. That's a reference for those of you who watch pro play. Anyways, moving on here. We don't see that same start, though, from Columbia College this time around. They're not looking for the full 5-man aggression, but this bot lane is something I really want to look at here. You see a hard engage and a flash pwn out of Garrett. We didn't quite get to see the full action there, but that doesn't spell well for Sac State if they're already losing a tool off of their support, as well as the blue buff.
Yeah, the blue buff might spell actually a triple buff start here for the side of Coulter. But I do want to point out, you referenced that the last game we had some spicy starts here. It was flash traded for flash between Garrett and Shogo. But this time, it's Ignite traded for flash here. And Garrett, once again, not having that in the lane, doesn't even have Hex Flash to compensate either.
No Hex Flax either. I mean, you know what? He can work his way out. It's all about that playing safe that we discussed earlier. It's stemming the flow of bleeding. Now, one thing we didn't touch on is, whoa, it's NorCal. That's who we haven't touched on. Is
that safe?
As I say, yeah, maybe a little too close there, Buckaroo. Jeez. Okay.
Coulter, I'm disappointed. Coulter went for woes instead of taking the pot shot over the wall there. I mean, that there wasn't even an attempt. I mean, I guess he really wants the 3 buff. Now he's really got a 3 buff because he took away that blue buff here. Is he trying to go for cheese? There's a ward there. He doesn't know.
He could be looking for it. I don't think there's much of a turnaround to be played through. Remember, Garrett and Venti haven't even asserted what is level 2 yet. They're so behind in terms of XP. They've been choked out of this lane, and now the follow-up. Great double knock-up from the Grand Entrance, and a first blood easily picked up there for Coulter. And that TP, it's not going to do much. BioBanana can't find anything off of it.
That turret aggro juggling there, Zephyr, chef's kiss. Chuki takes 1 shot, Coulter takes 1 shot. That's it. And they secure themselves a nice early kill. Beautiful to watch. Meanwhile, Sterling wasn't even able to respond. Didn't even manage to take away blue buff. He's trying to go now. I don't know. That feels a little risky here.
It's definitely a dicey choice there. I do like BioBanana stepping up to kind of work their way back in there. Now Sterling, he is able to pick up good response on Skull. I would like to see him maybe try to take the blue, try to even this one out, but instead he's looking for Rovex. He did pick up the kill there on to NorCal. Now all he has to do is sustain forward. A big flash over the wall, but the follow-up from Archer to secure the kill. Now the Sonic Wave. It's a good response. He does get knocked up onto Coulter as he tries to kite this one out. Good W to get the full slow attack speed here. Coulter is now forced to flash back over the wall, and a good dodge of the Sonic Wave means that both junglers are all said and done.
That's a win for Sterling. You burnt the
100%.
flash out of Coulter. So 100%, you get that. And you know what? Hey, step 1 for Sac State. Find a kill somewhere. They killed Rovex. That's good. Look at Isol's health as well. He's not terribly healthy. Sac State, they're not winning. Don't get me wrong. But there's hope. And it's not looking dire necessarily for them at this point.
Well, that's the crazy thing. Was the early game really looking dire for Sac State in game 1? No, yes. I was kind of discussing this. It looked, did you say yes as in it was looking dire?
Yeah, it was. Come on. But Isol was like threatening BioBanana repeatedly under turret. Rovex did this last game too. He was solo killing in lane, Zephyr. It's starting to go the dire route here.
Okay. It's only 3 kills and a 2K gold lead. It's still workable, but with a gank under bot again? Again? That's another kill to behold. Now instead, though, they say, let's go for 1 more. Look at the juggle from Shogo there. They aren't able to find what they want, but maybe the Sonic Wave back into it can do the job. 2 kills under turret.
Zephyr, you cast a curse that they were only at 3-1. It's 5-1 now. Coulter looking to get out. Oh, he dodged the tag. He's safe. And you know what? Sac State Green, that bot lane turret needs to check its PayPal account because it did not aggro Coulter on that dive whatsoever there when that first Q landed. If it did, maybe Venti could have traded back, but it just looked like the turret never attacked the champion on that dive.
I'd be curious to see the distance that lined up before that, but I gotta ask, Random, how much harder is it for Sac State to work into this one compared to game one? Because I really do feel like this composition needs a little bit more leniency to work their way into mid-game. Where they're at right now, they're not going to be given any favors.
I hate to agree with you, Zephyr, but you are on the money for this one here. Look at the discrepancy between Venti and Shogo. I know that NorCal and Rovex looks a little worse, but Venti is the key figure here for Sac State. You drafted a Yasuo composition, and Yasuo is way, way behind. Sterling sat in that bush with NorCal for quite a while there, looking for the gank. Couldn't even find anything, and now a reverse ambush is being set up.
And now as they walk their way through river, they find out it's the Valley of Death here. A good cannon barrage to keep them going lower and lower. I like the lantern here from Garrett to save Sterling out, but there's no follow-up to press any much further. Still, though, Sac State lives.
For now.
Let's wait on Rovex, okay? NorCal, and just trying to make my dreams come true here. Okay, they live for now.
Rovex is looking for the flank. Colombia doesn't want to give this up here.
Lantern's down for safety. He is unable to find the blues. Colthrow steps up. A great play from Garrett to push him off, but it's going to be at the expense of Sterling, and we've seen this one play out several times. Wave crashes and a dive to follow.
Bio Banana is running down, but no TP. He's trying desperately to get there. NorCal not 6 yet either. No heroes entrance. It's a race between the minions and Bio Banana here.
The wave begins to crash out. Venti and Garrett, they step up as much as they can, but the dive ensues. Double grand entrance, and it's an easy pickup for Colthrow there. Like you said, just too late.
What can I say? Minions OP, man. They moved faster than Bio Banana, apparently, and Bio Banana has boots as well. That is unfortunate. They're just picking on Venti right now. Columbia College in draft went, okay, you know what? You got a Yasuo composition. We know how to break this. Break the Yasuo. Physically, mentally, do it all. I'm not even going to comment on that because it's happened way too many times at this point. Let's look at Izo instead. Izo is just pushing the top lane. He's finding his CS advantage, and he might be 0-0-0 right now, but he's going to get real scary at the rate.
They're all in an advantage. Let's just cut to the chase here. All 5 players here for Columbia College have taken an absurd gold advantage early, now sitting what is 6K up compared to Sac State at only 8 minutes. They could be on pace for an earlier 10K gold lead than what was the 17-minute one in game one.
Yeah, 17.5 minutes was 10K breakpoint in game one here. Let's see if they can beat that. The Herald hasn't been taking, I mean, it just spawned pretty much. So Columbia College, they can take Herald, and plates are up. So that's going to be another big lead if they can get plates.
Huge chunk.
Yeah, all their gold lead right now is almost strictly from kills and laning.
I will say it does suck, but the fact of the matter is you drafted something risky in the sense that you put all of your eggs into one basket. You really try to work out with that Venti on the Yasuo composition, and they broke that. You set it up perfectly. They immediately targeted out the key player, and they've completely destroyed it. Now Sterling could be looking for a good response here onto Izo. Big flash, but Colthrow with the Dragon Rage response. The Devour is going to be pushing him towards his death, so they at least pick up the 1 here. But Sterling and Bio look lower and lower here as they continue to assess this one. Colthrow is just picking up so much health, auto after auto there for that double.
I don't understand how Colthrow didn't die. I'm guessing it's the healing, you know, from the
heal
that gives you. Yeah, just barely, but it's enough. Herald being dropped as well. I mean, they were taking Herald. They transitioned top here. So they're going to be able to get first turret. They might even be able to get, I don't want to say second turret. Oh my. Zephyr.
Yeah, I know. This is tough. It is my duty as a caster to try to throw the unbiased and maybe level this one out and work our way into seeing both of the light here for the end of the tunnel for Sac State Green. And it is very far gone at this point. I'm sorry to say it, but 5-0, 5-1. Look at that gold lead currently airing on your screen. And we had these expectations coming into it, but it's things like this, that cheese that you see from Garrett Venti, that's your only chance, your only hope to maybe find some semblance of a kill, a little bit of a return.
My fear right now with this hope that Sac State have, like, with these cheese plays, is that so far, every time the light... Oh, hold on.
There it is. That's your cheese. They go for big flash, but it's nothing close to enough. The wind wall is the only thing there that actually prevents the kill from coming through. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, we did see NorCal once again die here as we see Rovek step back, and he's the one trying to go down for a kill, but across the map, they're all falling here. Bot, top, it doesn't matter.
Can they find Shogo? No Featherstorm. Flash available. Can they do it?
It's a big flash, knock up into the grand entrance. Look at those feathers just shred. A death sentence going to slow this one down, but a hero's entrance might actually be the bane for NorCal there. Looking to walk this one away as the feathers continue to blast forward there. Colthro's on the side, but it doesn't even matter. He's already picked up the double here for Shogo.
So many metaphors that I want to use here. Let's start with the cheese one, Zephyr.
Go ahead.
The only type of cheese this is Swiss cheese. Now let's move on to the light at the end of the tunnel. The light at the end of the tunnel is a massive train just barreling down the tracks. Zack St. Green right now. Hero's entrance, hero's exit in a coffin right now for NorCal. I'm dead, Zephyr. I'm just dead right now. 17-2. Have we 10K? 10K. It's more than 10K, and we're not even 12 minutes.
Almost 12, 11K, my apologies. Let's be honest. 11K sitting at what is just hitting 12 minutes right now. That is 5 minutes faster than game one, and a landslide in comparison. I will be honest, this is a great showing from Colombia. Like, let's not, I mean, can't even sugarcoat that one, and it's obvious to see by all here, but when we look towards the season as a whole for NECC, this is the monster that could be waiting for you at the very end.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? Props to Columbia College. They aren't going easy on Sac State. They aren't messing around. I actually spoke to Izo before the game, and I was like, do we get to see Maokai? And he was like, no, Maokai's trashing. I was like, will you pick Maokai if you're smashing? And I was just like, no. And they didn't, right? Like, this is not a composition where you're just kind of like, okay, you know, we disrespect them. I know I joked about full speed run comp, but look at how it's going right now. It feels like a full speed run comp because it's damage oriented and they're executing it well. They are respecting Sac State Green, and they're not really giving Sac State much of any opportunity to come back in. There's no lane they can play through. Columbia College is answering everything, and Sterling here
is gone. Sterling is gone. NorCal to follow here. There's no way to sugarcoat it. This game is over before it even began at this point. There is no mid game. There's your win condition for Sac State, and it's not even there.
Yeah, remember how I said Columbia College, you know, in late game is going to be really hard to deal with? We are at the end game.
Yeah, we're already at late game for them. They're already assessing what is the appropriate amount of gold, and they're just walking kill for kill, picking up champion after champion here. So
I actually appreciate that Columbia isn't fixating on dragons at all. They haven't even picked up a single dragon because it doesn't matter. Right, no, like, it's a Mountain Drake. What do you need Mountain Drake for? You're all damage here. It's your survivability is based on how much damage you can pump out. Sterling once again might go down. NorCal, as soon as they spawn here, pretty much Columbia is just going for him. This is not fair to NorCal.
I mean, you discussed it before the game even began. You talk about these gap matchups and the question of what can they learn, and I'll be honest, when it gets to a point like this, there really isn't much to behold.
Yeah, you know what? For Sac State Green, just group up. Go for one big team fight. We've not seen the big last.
That's fine.
Onto a team like two targets. Go out in a blaze of glory here. You're under your target. You're in your base. It's your best shot.
Well, for now here, sitting down, the one inhib turret to finally fall. 14 minutes and 26 seconds. NorCal potentially next as the Devour comes through there. Bio spits him out, but it's almost at the expense of his own life. I do like the return here. Good hero's entrance. Good last breath. Shogo's still alive, but not for much longer. Rovox versus Colthro 2v2. Venti the carry still looking good, but as he works his way out further and further and the dodge comes through onto that tornado, he's going to be removed as well.
Bio Banana just left Venti for dead and went back to base. Huge props to Venti. That's what I'm talking about right there.
There you go.
Just go for that team fight, right? And see what you can get. That actually didn't look half bad here. And sure, you do lose the inhibitor, but you're finding kills. Can you find more? Colthro able to catch up.
Well, maybe we'll have one or two more of those left in the tank here from Sac State Green. And you know what? We'll do our best to try to commentate through them and see what is actually working out there. I like the response. They got the knockup. They found it on to Shogo and the like there for Columbia College, and they were able to capitalize on the little kills that they did find. That's great. Is it enough to kind of bring them back into this as they now approach 16K dole difference? No. But it is something nice to see in terms of Sac State actually having the potential to work fights like that out.
Yeah, and Sac State at this point, you literally have nothing to lose. I'm not even going to mention the deaths that are happening right now because it doesn't matter. The gold that's going to Columbia College, irrelevant. It's more how can Sac State find their way into team fights. The gold deficit is already so huge that it's just going to come down to sheer mechanical
not even to win the game,
outplay.
just to push it to the limit and just really limit test this one out, actually.
Yeah, and for that, I'm going to just watch where Venti is. Because where Venti goes, there you have kill threat. No Venti, no kill threat. There's no damage anywhere else here. Sterling is a knockup bot for Venti at this point. 5,000 gold compared to 9,000 gold here. Rovex, can you find... Oh, good dodge away. You know what? Just one hook. Hey, one hook, one flay, one knockup. Burn that out on single target. Last breath cooldown's not that long right now.
Well, for now here, the waves continue to push in. Sterling is available if they want to maybe find that knockup onto Rovex. Sadly, the tornado not quite going to hit, but a collapse is maybe in store here. Rovex trying to work his way out. A good slow from the tongue into the double knockup.
Hey.
Sadly, no, they do find it. Finally, a good response. A team that groups up, an overstep by Columbia College, and a kill.
That's actually huge because I think Rovex has been a bigger problem than Shogo, but Cold Throw.
Cold Throws, they're all big. Let's be honest here, Random. They're all enough to work this game into its end there. So as Rift continues to work its way down into what is that inhib, Cold Throw continues to push this team further and further back into their fountain.
Yeah, and this is going to be it at this point. No last breath means no ability to actually fight here.
This is...
Well, yeah, they're just going to take the Nexus.
And we're going to get a dancing Shelly, too, to finish this one off.
Hey!
There we go.
The ballroom waltz there. You know what, Zephyr? Columbia College are good. That's an understatement. That's a massive understatement. But Columbia College are good. You can't even pick an MVP. They're just too clean. They were overwhelming tonight with this particular performance here. So instead, I want to highlight Sac State Green because we've talked so much about them. But yes, that last game was what, 26, 27 to 5?
Yeah.
Sac State Green showed that they had grit at the end there. And at the end, I think they showed more grit than they did at the beginning of game 2. So I'm going to applaud them for that, and I'm going to cheer them on for that.
Absolutely. As they continue to compete out here, this is now what their second loss in the face of their NECC standings. Personally, I don't think it matters. If you continue to face teams like that all the way till the end, working into great team fights, trying to find those one-off kills, even when they're right in your face, you always have my support.
True. And with that, I guess that is match 3 concluded here, Zephyr. Really not much else to say about how these two teams went at it. But it does set an interesting precedent for the evening. It's all been 2-0s the entire day today. Game 1, bit of a stomp. Game 2 got real interesting here.
That was an interesting... Go watch back. If you haven't seen the VOD for match 2, go check that out. It was a long one.
So for game 4, if we follow this pattern here, should be a 2-0, but it should be interesting. I'm looking forward to it and hoping, things go a little better there.
Well, if we all keep our eyes and ears open here, hopefully the wishes of Random can come true. As for the both of us, we're going to be stepping away for the night as we work our way towards the final match 4 here. Stick around and stay tuned for some great action.
2 is upon us, and we're going to jump on over to what might be the most polarizing division in the whole NECC. Challengers, Cyan, there's only been sweeps so far. We haven't seen a single series go the full distance. The George Fox Bruins, who were the first school in their athletic conference to have an esports team, has found some early success in their NECC debut last week, going 1-0 with an aforementioned sweep. A quick 2,600-mile drive down I-70 lies the University of South Alabama. Though the Panthers couldn't quite find it in week number 1, they are hungry to get even here in week number 2. Are we going to have some more polarizing finishes, or are we finally going to get a match that goes the distance? We are about to find out. Bruins, Jaguars, let's get it. My name is Ethan Dolan, probably better known as Nellhan. Today, as in last week, as is 2 semesters ago, I am joined by the dad bod god, Coach Jim. How are we feeling today?
All right, Ethan, remember, breathe. I know you don't breathe during your intro. Breathe, baby.
I got asthma.
Breathe.
You're right.
Gotta breathe. I'm doing good, Ethan. I'm having a great day. I'm looking forward to some League of Legends here. Friday night, nothing beats Friday night League of Legends. What else are you gonna do on a Friday night? What else are you gonna do? We're all nerds here. What else are we gonna do on a Friday night? Date? I don't know about that. No, we're just gonna sit here. We're gonna cast League of
you're
Legends.
just gonna let Jim call you out like that? Nobody check on a date? Come on. Hey, spam it up in chat if you got that significant other. Let Jim know. Let
me know. Just tell me I'm wrong. We can start the Coach Jim is wrong hashtag early tonight.
No, we can get that going.
Gotta be a fun one. I am looking, because we have the cheat sheet for what the draft is going to be, and I am looking. I'm not going to give anything away, but it's gonna get interesting. There's a lot of beef coming out. In this draft here, Ethan.
A lot of damage as well. As he said, we don't want to pull any of our pensions before they're going to land here in the draft phase. But in this current patch of League Gym, we aren't yet going to play. The newest champ's name's escaping me right now. Can you help me out? Little purple shoots the thing with y'all.
Akshan is the new marksman. Vex.
Akshan's and Vex. Vex is not in yet, just for everyone in chat.
Vex is not in yet.
Yes, no Vex yet for the NECC, but Akshan is playable, even though Akshan will not be playable at Worlds, just to make sure everyone's on the same page, avoid all confusion. In this patch of League Gym, which is indeed patch 11-19, we've seen a lot of return of tankiness to the top lane. Mundo, Garen, Malphite, all strong playable picks here, Jim. Give me your take on tanks in the current meta.
Tanks are all or nothing right now, I feel. If you've got them and they work, you're going to win. If you've got them and they don't work, you're going to lose. That's it. That's the end of the story. There's nothing else there. Nothing else to talk about. Especially as support. Sorry. Choking here. Especially in the support role. And we may or not, no spoilers, we may or may not be seeing a couple of tanky supports here in game 1 as Ethan shows off by drinking out of his big jug right there.
I down about 2 gallons every day. So, I mean,
oh yeah,
I got to keep pace. Just because work starts doesn't mean that the H2O does stop.
But no, so the tanks in the meta right now, the tanks are huge. The tanks are massive. To the point where as a mage main, I'm like, can the tanks go away? I have so much trouble with them right now. And on the other side, as you were saying, a lot of tanks, but a lot of damage in this meta as well right now. And it's just, oh my God, the poke, all of the poke right now. The laning is no longer fun. Let's put it that way. The bullying is real, top and bot lane. The only lane that's safe right now is mid lane. Mid lane is the only lane right now that's safe.
Yeah, a lot of familiar faces still popular in mid lane right now. Annie, Lux, Malzahar, Ari, all doing pretty well on the ladder in solo queue right now. Of course, you do see Akshan. I've seen Graves in there in my few games today. I think I saw Graves mid twice. Check the stats. It's not faring too poorly in the mid lane, so we do have one constant I will say is there still feels like the most pressure is being put on jungle several times. Even today, we saw in games earlier today in the NECC, bot lane might win, but it doesn't matter because the better jungler was affecting the map. Well, yeah, sure, you got first tower. Maybe you got every plate off that tower. Doesn't matter when the jungler is putting in work, securing these big neutral objectives and helping out the other two lanes. So I want to keep my eyes on the jungle today as Light Locust is going to lock in set for our first pick here on the left-hand side of your screen. That will be South Alabama.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about with some tankiness, although those are both more bruisers than pure tanks up there in the top lane. Gonna have set going into Jax. We were talking about the junglers. We're seeing Viego and Evelyn are the two junglers we're gonna have. And what's going to be really interesting here as we see both mid laners before the second round of bans is that no AP in the mid lane. And this has been the meta now for a couple of patches, that AD mid lane has been really, really strong. And you've seen all the mages just disappear from the game. A couple of the big streamers that I love have actually talked about it. That at the moment, Riot Games is basically saying, oh, you're a pure mage, you don't belong in the game right now.
I get it.
Yeah, and we are going to see some pure mages banned there. You see Lux go, Seraphine, not really a pure mage, kind of an enchanter in the mid lane. Interesting pick going to go, but you're right. A whole lot of AD. When we look right now, a whole lot of AD just in general. So armor going to be lucrative, it looks like, as this game continues.
And here's one, once we've seen AD go mid lane and AD go mid lane and AD go mid lane, this is one we've seen a lot now is Ziggs as the APC, getting your AP power in your bot lane and mixing Ziggs with a tanky support, which you're going to see locked in here as soon as they find the button. It's just really easy for him to sit back behind a tanky support, lob his bombs over the top, maybe have a cup of coffee, maybe read the paper, and just do a lot of damage.
And not just Ziggs, we've also seen a fair amount of people take Swain into this role as well. I know you love playing Swain support, Jim, but
I love playing Swain support.
The ADCs will wrestle out of their hands, play some APC Swain. Now that we see both these teams laid out before us, who are you giving the edge just after Champ Select?
I'm really thinking that UBC Ruby has the better complete comp. I'm seeing the better completed comp coming from UBC Ruby. South Alabama at the moment is just too much AD for me. It's just too much AD. Armor's going to win that, and with the exception of Evelyn. And she's such a true assassin that she's only going to get one person in a fight.
Yeah.
So she's going to get her one. She's going to be out of the fight at that point. And then you got a 4v4 with no AP.
Completely agree. I mean, you look, both teams really only bringing one AP member to the table, right? You got the Evelyn, you got the Ziggs, but that's the difference, right? Evelyn, as I said, is that assassin. Seeking out that one target. So I was like, yeah, Evelyn's gonna get that one. Ziggs is just dime dropping damage all over the battlefield, and everyone is going to feel the pain. Evelyn's gonna get in there, do her fancy footwork, mash that R button, pop out. Cool. You got one member. Ziggs all just absolutely decimated your team. Like, how do you come back from that in a fight? So that's what I will say. But once again, I'm just really zoning in on these junglers. I think that role is just so much importance right now. I've seen so many big, especially bot lane leads just crumble over the course of the game. I think top lane can have some agency, especially if you're a hyper farmer. If you can just go AFK and just have perfect CS for so long, yeah, you can dominate a game. I think that those are the two roles that I'm looking at. This mid lane does have some potential carry. We've seen some monster Aurelia games here in the NECC, and you and I last week saw a big Yone game as well.
We did. The one I'm looking at, if they can snowball, actually, is the Tristana. I think the one hope South Alabama has is the Tristana, Donnie Diamond. If he can snowball, and I mean really find a downhill slope and snowball, Tristana carries are hard to get rid of. Their ability to engage, their ability to disengage, and they actually have two different ways of disengaging, either by jumping out themselves or by blowing you out of the way. It's just super good, and then their AoE damage, both from the shrapnel and from the bomb, in big team fights late in the game in Dragon Pit and Baron Pit can be huge. The problem I'm looking at is that similar to the game we cast last week, you have a pull support against a go-to support. Leona goes in on the Thresh not only is she leaving Tristana alone in the back, but she's going to have to face both of them in the face. Whereas Thresh pulls a hook, he pulls you to him, pulls you to Ziggs, and that's really where you want to be. With that being said, Leona, as much crowd control as you can ask for on a champion, it's hard pressed to find anyone with more crowd control than a Leona. I just hope that it's enough. But if they end up pushing into the opposing tower, they're going to have a little bit of trouble because most of Leona's crowd control, it just isn't going to be in the right position. I think you're right,
Yeah,
though. The top lane's going to be interesting.
that crowd control, as I was just gonna agree with you on Leona, just so intrinsic to her kid, almost like she's got tattoo or a crowd control just tattooed to her body. You can't separate the two. So intrinsic to the kid, so big, and I think the Leona play is going to be big. Good call out on the Tristana being a carry, right? With Rocket Jump, you have so much mobility. You can make things happen, Jim. I think the word is agency. You've got agency in this game. You can affect things all on your lonesome. That Leona is going to have the important job of here in the early game generating gold advantage. Can you get a pick or two? Can you start feeding this Tristana, getting them some of that early gold? Can you peel to make sure that they don't die, Jim? These are the questions that bot lane is going to have here.
The big one, the really big one, is if South Alabama can freeze the wave. If they push
Absolutely.
the wave under the tower, you take away all of Leona's advantages. You can't push the wave. If you push the wave, you're going to have a bad day.
You are going to have a bad day indeed. If you're just joining us, we are about to get in the last match of the night here at the NECC. University of South Alabama is indeed trying to find their very first win of the season, Jim. The Bruins, on the other hand here from George Fox, are looking to go 2-0 in their young NECC career. We're going to see if they can get off on the right foot yet again. They took care of business last week. More so, I'm just looking to see if we're finally not going to get a sweep here.
That is going to be interesting to see if we don't get a sweep. I'm looking really quick here at some of the summoner spells. Ziggs choosing not to take heal and Thresh not having ignite is going to get interesting. The cleanse is really good for Ziggs just in case the Leona jumps on him. Something else to look at though. Aurelia has ignite, Yone has teleport. If Aurelia cannot get an early lead with her ignite, the teleport will help that lane go to Derek on the Yone.
Astute points indeed here, Jim. My game's still at 4-0, so I think we're just going to pause at 10 seconds when everyone gets in here just to make things nice. And then with the go-ahead of production, we will get things going. We thank you so much for joining us here on the NECC, all 76 of you in chat. Spam it up in chat who you think is going to win, the Bruins or the Jaguars. Production, are we all paused at 10 seconds?
Yep.
If you want to count us in there, we'll all go on your mark. And we are underway here. Last match of the night. I've got a sneaky suspicion it might be the best one. On the left-hand side, the blue team will be the University of South Alabama with Little Locust in the top lane. Inting there in the jungle. Derek in the mid lane, Donnie Diamond and Feltflame there on the bot side. On the right-hand side of your screen, the red team coming out. UBC Ruby, the Bruins. You got Wosilili on the top side. Laugan Ma in the jungle there. Basically high in the mid lane. Ming B, Turkey Chicken playing this unconventional APC bot lane. Jim, what are we looking at here in the early going?
I'm looking at the corrupting potions. UBC Ruby is saying, hey, we're going to go corrupting top, corrupting mid, and we're going to fight, and we're going to try to win those fights. The better sustain is going to be on the set on the Yone. So if the Aurelia and the Jax don't take their fights early, they might fall into a farm disadvantage in lane.
I'm not sure if chat is turned on for in-stream there, but Turkey Chicken says hi to chat. Turkey Chicken, when you're reviewing the VOD, trying to get better, we say hi back. Nothing groundbreaking happening here early on. Top leash for the blue side, bot leash for the red side. Just going to be watching those early clears, though. I don't think either of these junglers, Jim, really want to be ganking early. Both are kind of sneaky assassin types, really great at picking off targets, but aren't doing a whole ton pre-6, right? That's when we do see mobility come through for both of these junglers.
That is when we see mobility come through for both of them. Viego has a little bit of a better gank early levels, but we will see. But Evelynn, unless she can get in behind someone, definitely harder for her to come and gank, as we see the fighting in the top lane.
Fighting in top and bot side right here. Ming B, Turkey Chicken trying to lay down some damage. Pretty even trades across the board. Farm here early, going over to Donnie Diamond, and I think this is what is to be expected here early on, is that the traditional marksman is going to be better at farming over time. I might expect Ming B to come back once he gets some more items. Oh, the pull in. Base breaker right there. Salili has to be careful on the top side here. Basically high. Derek duking it out over some minions here in the mid lane. I do like the corrupting pots, and we do already see Jax going in on the top side there, Jim. Just not really finding a favorable trade. Little Locust playing that well. Going in here, the flay. Turkey Chicken has to flash the damage to the back. The flash coming through. Donnie Diamond finds first blood, or no, it's the support. Bellflame getting first blood there. Donnie wanted it. Donnie flashed for it. But Jim, you don't always get what you want. But you find sometimes that if you're the support, you get what you need.
Yeah, no, that was probably not the best usage of their economy there, but they confirmed first blood, and nobody's going to complain about that.
No one will complain about that extra goal in the back pocket. And look at this, Little Locust on the top side, now having so much prio and wave, but Viego is up there, Set trying to back, and they've got to stop this back if they want to take advantage of their numbers. They won't. Viego looping down for that scuttle, and we're going to see a bit of a scuttle for scuttle here on the top side. It looks like Viego now pinging Mia. Bot side scuttle is secured by Evelynn. Viego will be able to get that top side one with relative ease.
You know, looking here in the mid lane at what's going on, you know, Aurelia with the corrupting pots, she's out of them now though, only has a 3 farm advantage, and she's losing her trades. So if you go corrupting pot, you have to win your trades.
Yeah, maybe. Big blast charge right there, Jim. You do have to win those trades. I'm gonna let you get right back to them. They tried to cut you off, but they couldn't bring enough action.
But no, if you're not winning the trades and you're on corrupting pot, you're giving up your advantage. And if you look, Set's already backed. He's back to lane. It looks like he walked back. And Jax is only up 5 farm with 1 corrupting pot remaining. And he's going to have to back. He just backed, in fact. So all of that farm advantage is going to go away. Set's going to push in. And actually, Jax is going to use his teleport. So a massive TP advantage right now for South Alabama is they have 2 up. Actually, Yone just used his. But 1 up still. So if there's a fight at the bot side of the map, Light Locust can get there. Woe Salili cannot.
Absolutely correct there, Jim. That TP going to be big if they're playing on the same page. Of course, having that teleport advantage is big, but you have to find a way to use it. That means they're going to be relying on this team to ward up, to communicate well. All marks of a great team. But right now, you know, for a team that got swept last week, I'm pretty impressed by these Jaguars, Jim. South Alabama came and they came to play. We didn't like their draft as much. I think we both agreed on that, but they're winning their individual lanes right now. Synergies aside, counterpicking aside, they're just playing more solid League of Legends, a little bit of scuffling on the top side, and I think that's exemplified here on the top side. Light Locust going in, base breaker into Haymaker, Light Locust running back to their wave, Woe Salili going in, duking it out, the flash, and Woe Salili will tie us up in kills. Big engage on the top side.
Yeah, no, that was absolutely huge. The winner of that one is gonna have a big advantage. It goes to Woe Salili. And now, like you said, you can see the advantage growing for them there. You force the Set to throw the teleport just to catch the wave. Otherwise, they were going to miss way too much farm as the fighting going on in the mid lane.
Yeah, Derek and basically High trading off, but neither really wants to engage that fully. Ignite burn by basically High. Derek has no flash, so basically High up on Sums. Oh, Felflame coming in here. There's the rocket jump. Play from Turkey Chicken. Ming B trying to get out. One more auto might have done it. The hook going to connect with the back of a minion instead. Turkey Chicken, Ming B, they are getting bullied here on the bot side every time we cut to them. Derek inting there in the mid lane. But the farm difference isn't much, right? Up 3 here is Tristana, so it's exactly what we said. Tristana out farming early on. Had perfect CS for a little bit there, I believe. And now Mingby catching back up, has some more mana items, is able to really CS with their abilities.
Right, but the one, oh, here we go.
Yeah, jumping in yet again. There's a Flay. Lau ganking down. Donnie Diamond gonna pick up that first kill. But here comes Lau. Turkey Chicken under tower. One more auto's gonna do it. Oh, they don't find the kill on Fresh, and instead, Bellflame goes down. And there is the risen Leona. E2 Brute as the double kill. Tristana will fall.
How long have you been waiting for an E2 Brute comment to come up for you like that?
You know what? It comes across more in Rocket League, the own goal, not as much in League. Not as much.
But no, you were talking about the farm. And the farm advantage on the lanes that have corrupting potions, not where you'd think it would be. Oh my god.
Yeah, beautiful gank right here. Whoa, silly, the ward hop. Flash coming through. Inting going to pick up a kill. Light Locust going to get some farm in the back end. Is probably going to crack some plates here. As we said, no TP on this Jack, so plate going to be cracked at a minimum. Maybe 2 for Light Locust, Jim. This is a big swing on the top side. Massive gank from Inting there is going to open up this half of the map that much more for their team.
The one to look at is right now with the known jungler on the top side, even though they are stealing the red buff. Looks like the Drake is going to get picked up here by UBC Ruby.
Yeah, and a great play by UBC Ruby here. They pull up the bot lane. Jungler there. Lau just has some great control of their team and is 2-0-0 right now, really just exerting their dominance as a jungler. And Jim, both the junglers playing well. Popping in here, unbinds the soul is Derek. Inting coming through, basically high, nowhere to go. Inting drops the ulti. Last caress gonna get it done. Mingby jumped in on, has to use the E there to get away, but is able to do just that with the blast charge.
No, and I'm going to get back to what we were talking about. We were talking about farm and how the farm was close. We were talking about farm, the farm was close. Look at the farm now. It is not close anywhere.
Yeah, it's not that close at all. It's polarizing, right? Except in the jungle, right? 61-58. And once again, this felt like from jump, Jim, a battle of 2 junglers that fill somewhat similar roles. And these 2 were just going at it. Both 2-0-0 right now. Both, I mean, separated by 4 CS. Inting stealing that red buff on the other side, going back, collecting their own, opening up the top side of the map. They're both focusing in different areas, and I think that their fingerprints are going to be all over the outcome of this game.
I'm just looking at it. If you're playing on Corrupting Potion, you have to have an early lead. It's similar to playing Ritual. Not Dark Ritual. I just blanked on the name of the item.
Playing a little Magic the Gathering over there.
I am playing a little
One
Magic
black,
the Gathering.
add 3 to the pool, he's storming off. Watch out.
Absolutely. But no, if you're going to play with an early advantage item, you have to take the early advantage. And I'm going to come up with the name of that book here in a minute. It transforms into Magi's, and I'm old. I'm having a senior moment, guys.
I'm going to let you get there.
But no, so if you're on Corrupting Potion, you have to get your early lead. You have to. And I'm looking at 15 farm down depending on the wave is Jax, and 12 farm down depending on the wave is Aurelia. And I'm talking about 16 farm down depending on the wave. And he doesn't have an early advantage item, but 16 down in the bot lane is Ziggs, and that's just going to be a problem.
That will be a problem. A lot of action in the mid lane. Derek unbinds their soul. Inting going in. Oh, big fresh ult. The Inting has to ult to get out of there. Derek says, I'm about that action. Pops back in, but will pay dearly for it. Lau Can Ma ganking in, finding the kill. Great presence on this jungler. Viego's just been everywhere all at once. And we see there the from the passive popping in, doesn't find anything. And Inting trying to chase down Lau in their own jungle potentially. Won't do it. Runs right through river. And they do have that Herald there, but trying to set up some type of gank here on the top side. Looks like the play. Light Locust, you don't want to be pushing the wave this hard unless they're really setting something up. They're going to be patient. Maybe a bit of a bait. Misses the face breaker there, but we've got counter gank.
Oh!
Lau here. There's the ulti. Woes Lily. Oh my gosh, Haymaker is big. Lau Gan Ma tries to get their way in. will pop the Harrowed Path, but doesn't find anything else, doesn't want to pursue that course of action. Blink and you'll miss it. Blue side up more than 2K gold right now, Jim.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty big gold lead right now for South Alabama. The Jaguars just getting around the map a little bit. Oh.
Turkey chicken. A bit of support slogging that out right here. That's just two beefcakes just smacking each other. Nothing happened.
Just saying hello.
Nothing happened.
That's just how supports say hello.
You're absolutely right. In the support language, that was the most dignified of greetings.
Just hey, how's it going? How's the family? How you doing?
How's the executing on the item going?
Yeah.
Okay, your ADC won't let you execute. That's tough. Turkey chicken looking in right here. Maybe looking for a bit more of aggressive of a greeting. Swirling that hook around. Bellflame tries the Zenith Blade. Won't get it to go. Look at the map. The jungler for them is on the bot side, inting in the vicinity if they want it. On the other end, Lau here looking for something in mid lane. There's the stun coming through. Derek, you got to get out of there and get out of there in a hurry. Does just that, stays alive in the mid lane. I love the jungler play so far. These two going at it, just like in the top lane. Light Locust, big haymaker, but that's all the damage to the K. You got to back off right after that. You know you don't have ult yet. You just use Showstopper. Not going to have it. What is this from the bot lane? They're sweeping out wards. They're probably trying to set up for drag here. They're doing it pretty early.
Ooh.
A proactive approach. They might catch out Turkey Chicken. Ming B, Lao Gan, rotating over. Big stuns coming through. Inting, ults to get out of there, but is going to get caught up on the back end. Bellflame, there's the ulti from Ming B. Basically high, going so low, as does Bellflame on the crackback. Lao Gan Ma gets a kill, continues, but will go down to the Rastana. Ming B, gotta be careful, uses the charge there to bounce Donnie away from them. A good fight for the Jaguars.
Now, you see that one right there, that was just a good catch out on Turkey, forced the ultimate early while he only could catch one person, the rest of the team coming in. And Viego there, Laugan Ma, just if he doesn't have the resets and if he doesn't have the invulnerability there, he dies so much sooner. I'm one of those people that hates that passive. Oh my God, do I hate it. Because you're right on top of him when you're about to kill him. He gets a kill and all of a sudden for a second and a half, you can't touch him. And he's ready to go. Fingers on the buttons. Does go down though. Derek on the Yone getting down there in time to make a difference. But that was huge. Huge play there for South Alabama. I was just about to say that with Yone's death, Aurelia had caught up in farm. Not anymore. And the top lane gap just keeps getting bigger.
It keeps widening, basically high, needs to widen the space between them and the opponents. Does it right there. Good flash over the wall. Fellflame might be in a bit of trouble, but more likely they're just going to hand over this second drag. I don't think Evelyn minds too much. Top side right now, trying to maybe get this tower down, crack open the map for the set. Dragon goes down in a blink of an eye. Good secure there for Laugan Ma, who finally found a death. In fact, both junglers in the last fight both getting their first deaths. Watch Inting here on the top side, just waiting for this Jax to make a move. Derek pushing in with basically high. Laugan once again in the area. Jim, both these junglers just prowling around lanes.
Both junglers have some good movement to them. They're both getting around. Something to look at, though, is the fact that the Yone with the teleport active, both teleports active for South Alabama, gonna be huge. Jax getting away with a kill there. Not actually getting away with it at all.
Doesn't get away. The punishment fits the crime. Inting finds it. Laugan Ma trailing. Your life is not worth that pink ward, Inting. You gotta get out of there. Ming B, Turkey Chicken here on the bot side. The farm gap has exploded in favor of Donnie Diamond and Fellflame. All coming through right there. Maybe a little bit preemptive from Inting. Not quite sure why you blow the last caress that early. Hook, sidestep by Donnie Diamond. That was big. Would have hurt a whole lot being sucked into that tower. Did a flash available, but gets to hold on to all the summoners now.
You know, something to look at. 3K gold advantage right now at the 16-minute mark. That's a really big lead for South Alabama. More importantly, though, their gold is more evenly distributed. Just huge gold differences on the bot side of the map. You're looking at almost a 2,000 gold difference just between Tristana and Ziggs alone.
Big ulti coming through. Lauga and Ma stood no chance on the bot side here. 1v2, Inting going in. Mingby so low. Big satchel right there. Won't allow Inting to pick up any of the kills. They do find a really, really nice kill, however, on to the Viego. Lauga and Ma could not get away from the barrage of CC initiated by that solar flare from Fellflame. This Leona's been all over the bottom half of the map, Jim, really making their CC felt.
Yeah, the mobility boots on the Leona really letting them get around the map just everywhere they want to be. They're American Express right now. They're everywhere you want to be. Something to point out, though, not only did South Alabama get the first tower, they got all 4 summoners from the bot lane.
Yeah, that's big. As we're going to see Facebreaker, Haymaker here in the top lane, Solili going in. Little Locust is not a fight that you win. You do have all available. Derek coming through, may find the kill. Your Light Locust don't re-engage. Not the move, unbinds their soul. Solili might be in some trouble here. Derek flashes back and finds the kill. A little bit of retribution, but I don't know why Little Locust is turning around right there. You had your free ticket out. Your mid laner showed up. You could have got out 100% scot-free.
I agree. Could have absolutely just walked away from that one. I wonder if maybe he was afraid Jax was going to get away. Possibly wanted to confirm the kill. Let's be honest, though. Right now, it's almost a 6,000 gold lead, though, for South Alabama. Almost a 6,000. That's 2 full items for those of you who are wondering.
And the only saving grace here, Jim, is that on the other side, the Bruins have gotten the first 2 drags, right? So they are half of the way to having the soul, and having Drake soul is, I think it's estimated it's like roughly an item per person worth of value. It's somewhere between 1 and 2K, if I'm not mistaken. Smarter people than I have mathed that out. So that's a big way back in this game. You're halfway there. You just can't lose sight of that. You have to be up on these objectives here, as they're going to lose a lot of damage on this mid tower. Probably Charm coming through. Inting going to pick that kill on the bot side. Showstopper basically high, having to use the mobility to get through. Turkey Chicken responding just a bit too late, gets there, but the funeral procession has already passed. Basically high, stood no chance. Oh my gosh, like a stick of butter in a furnace, Jim. Now you see it, now you don't. Melted in an instant.
And that is what a fed Evelyn is going to do to you. All day, every day. The kiss of death coming from Evelyn right there.
Kiss of death, the last caress, gentle but deadly. Evelyn, 7-1-2 right now. Inting doing a great job. Laugan had definitely had a stronger early game, as they're getting caught out here, though, and this has been the rest of the game for them, Jim. They've gotten caught out twice now. Once in that team fight on the back end, and once just by the Leona wandering. Solili, Derek going at it. Derek's soul unbound. Solili not really going to win out of that trade, but is going to cause Derek to maybe back or maybe just start running down towards bot side. Probably has their eyes on this drag, but they have TP up. Not going to have to use it. The rest of the squad arriving a little bit too late. Pack it up and go home. The joint is closed. No opportunity to get Dragon today.
And, you know, something we didn't mention when Laugan Ma got out of that situation there, they did have to burn their flash. And that's something that you definitely, as a jungler, having your flash to engage, having your flash to complete a kill, something that's very important. So Laugan Ma not only going to have to play a little bit defensive without the flash, but missing an engagement tool as well.
Missing the engagement tool, indeed. We talked a little bit that Viego does still have some mobility options, right? You've got that Harrowed Path, that Spectral Maw as a small dash built into it. Then, of course, you do have the Heartbreaker. But you're correct. Nothing is quite like having that oh crap flash, right? Just having your finger over F. You're going through the jungle. Maybe it's not warded. You're a little bit on edge. You're like, yep, I knew it. So doesn't have that safety, doesn't have that backup. And in addition, the other side is only getting stronger and stronger. The Jaguars from South Alabama are just growing this lead, and you can really, really just start to feel it in these fights.
Oh, yeah. I was looking at it. The differential in the top lane, 500 gold. Differential in the jungle, 400 gold. Differential in the mid lane, though, 1,700 gold. Differential in the bot lane, almost 3,000 gold. There is a lot a lot of difference between everyone other than the tops and the jungles.
Yeah, definitely pretty different. And we said it, this is probably the most polarizing division in League of Legends in my mind. Only sweep so far. A lot of big wins, a lot of differences, Jim. A whole lot of parity. It's one or the other. It's tilting one way or the other. This isn't something that's close. It's more of a teeter-totter. A seesaw than anything else. I really like what's being done here by South Alabama. They're controlling their vision. They're just smothering vision on the other side. Swift play up there on the top side. They get a pink ward. They clear the pink ward as Locust probably can go down here. Showstopper comes on through. There's the haymaker for the shield. Can't get anything done. They get the scuttler up and they do clear a pink ward on the top side. They're doing everything they can to just retain these incremental advantages.
But once again, the problem here,
Oh, going in here, Donnie Diamond popping in, says, oh, we might have something. The charm, Turkey Chicken, they flip the script there, but they can't quite find anything else. Lao Gan looking for it over the wall, as is Fell Flame. Zenith Blade going to miss, bouncing bomb coming through, Ming B won't get it, just kind of dancing around each other. This is a dangerous fight. I know we're just 22 minutes in, but a wipe here for one side or the other could lead to a very decisive early Baron. It's a risky play, but in week one, we saw some teams do that, Jim.
we did. Oh, we saw some extremely risky Barons in week one. It's gonna get super interesting here in a hurry. I don't know. What I was gonna say is, the problem right now for UBC Ruby is that all of their money is on their top and their jungle. All of it. Absolutely all of it. If you get rid of Laugan Ma, if you get rid of Wowie Salili, there's nothing left. You have nothing left if those two go down.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the Tristana right here. Already has the Phantom Dancer in addition to that Kraken Slayer. And you look on the other side, I mean, Blade of the Rude King, the only full item built for the Aurelia here, doesn't even have their mythic item. I mean, Bork, great start, right? I like it, but the mythic items are just so powerful, and we've seen that since they were introduced into the game. They're pretty much, there's some certain situations where you don't build them first, but they're so much more impactful than other items. It kind of hurts to be this Aurelia in some fights, I think.
I think it's definitely hurting Aurelia in some of these fights. It could be the reason she's 0-3 at the moment.
Yeah, not the hottest start for basically high. Maybe they were looking for high. We don't need basically high. We need actual high in this moment. The smothering continues. The Jaguars, look at this. Donnie Diamond, the ADC, putting in the work on the vision score. Takes it out. Fell Flame saying, hey, I wanted that. I don't see yes. Give me that. Doesn't matter. Donnie Diamond controlling the vision. 25 minutes in. South Alabama has come back with a roar, Jim. They got down 2 dragons early. It looked pretty even early on, and in that case, you usually tilt towards the side with the neutral objectives, but they stuck in it, and it looks like they're going to be able to rattle off a few dragons in a row. Tough to fight this team right now.
For the record, I just saw the item in Evelyn's inventory. Magi Soul Stealer is the upgraded version. Dark Seal. Dark Seal was the book.
Dark Seal. That's what you're looking for. You got there. You got there.
I was gonna get there.
Teleport coming in here for both sides. We might see the fight. Fell Flame coming in. They're looking to ult somewhere. The Zenith Blade coming on through. They got him grouped up basically high. Going to go down early in this fight, or will they stay alive? Donnie Diamond shut down. That's a lot of the gold gone, but they get another 2 in return. The Jax going down, the Aurelia going down, and they're going to get a drag off of that. Looked good when you got rid of Donnie Diamond so early in that fight, but alas, they get 2 kills on the crackback. You're not going to contest drag with a 3v4.
Well, and that's going to be part of their problem, is that, yeah, they got Donnie, but they lost Wowie Salili on the Jax, and without somebody in front of him, and they are going to go for Baron.
Jim, this is a risk call. Lao Gan in the area, but that's it. They've got nothing else. Lao Gan, you got to get some vision on that.
They're not burning it fast
idea.
enough. This isn't fast enough. This is not happening fast enough.
Oh no, Lao Gan, Turkey Chicken, Ming B from the backside. Can they get some vision? Ward finally dropped. 2k health. It's going to be a smite fight here. 1300 on the drag, and they secure it without a smite. Satchel charge over the wall. A little bit too late. An early Baron call, a gutsy one at that. But we now see what they're playing with. Lantern coming through, Light Locust, not long for this world. Flashing out, Hook
and he
misses,
missed.
Laugan in pursuit, but Light Locust, they're going to be out of there. Young Houdini in the flash turns back, said, hey, I want this blue buff too. I'm taking it for the road. Oh, Smite come through, but there's the face breaker. The reinforcement showing up. Oh, you want to showstopper the other direction. Lantern coming through. That hook gonna miss as well. Light Locust right where they don't want to be. However, they're all grouped up here. Light Locust can't find the damage. Bellflame has to flash out. This could hurt. They could lose some Baron buffs here. There's the ulti.
Oh, no!
Anti-virus coming in. Big ulti on the back line. Popping out on the blast cone. They find one kill, but it's on the support, so they lose a Baron buff. They get the support in return. Laugan, you got to be careful. Zenithblade very barely hitting.
But they're losing a tier 2 tower in the bot lane.
Oh my gosh, Jim. Astute eyesight. Does this guy have 30-30 vision or what? You can tell he's a support player. Eyes glued on the minimap, Jim. Mad ups to that. We do see it on the bot side. Derek pushing in. Massive swing there for the Panthers. Oh, it's not done yet. Inting running out. This is just one long, sustained fight, and that's always going to favor the team with Baron, with more money, with better items. Derek, Soul Unbound, basically high, going to go down, and that is a big pick from Derek. It's going to allow them to continue to push in. They've got a wave on the top side. No one there to push. They are just going to 5-man this mid lane tower. Unbound Soul for Derek yet again. Using that, I believe that's the E, Unbound Soul, just on the Yone to an absolute maximum efficiency. So scary, and you just won't die from it ever, right? So just great play from Derek here on the Yone.
Great play on the Yone there from Derek in the mid lane. Just a stomping performance right now for South Alabama, though. A 10,000 gold advantage, making best use of the Baron buff there. As you pointed out, they traded a top laner for a support, and that doesn't sound good until you add in the tier 2 tower in the bot lane. Then it sounds like a good trade indeed. They got more items. You look at the items now, and it's like, oh my god. Evelyn has her Rabadon's death cap and a 25-stack Magi's. She is massive. Infinity Edge on 2 different members of South Alabama. Yone has one and Tristana has one. Bramble Vest on the Leona, making her super tanky. Yone with the shield bow, just making him almost impossible to kill. I don't even want to talk about the set. Set doing work up there on the top line, just staying alive long enough for the rest of his team to do damage. On the other side, you've got a lot of items, but you're just not going to see any of the damage they need coming through.
Why don't we have one person pushing bot here? Why aren't we doing like a 4-0-1 type split? You've got supers in the mid lane. They're going to be a threat regardless. If you see someone pushing in bot tower, you're applying so much pressure. Instead, they're opting for a 4-1 here. Set in the mid side. We've still got 4 top. They're really smothering out this jungle, not allowing any resources to be gained. And that's going to further their near 10k gold lead. Backing under tower here. Salili going to stick around. Here's Laugan over the wall. They might be trying to find Derek. They finally have their wave, and this is dangerous. You can't stay under tower. I think this might spell doom for the whole team here. We'll see what the Bruins do. Laugan, big ulti coming through. Oh my gosh. Derek gets the kill. Bellflame, you are insane. Finger stays glued to that R button. So Lily might be in some trouble here. The whole team showed up. Turkey Chicken basically high. Gets deleted in a moment. So Lily looking for Donnie Diamond, but gets more than they bargained for. They thought they could just take a quick bite out of the ADC, but it was a little more than they could chew. And on the bot side of the map, Light Locust pushing in. Another inhibitor gone. They win the fight on the top side, and now all that's left are these Nexus towers. Oh my gosh, the BMTP coming through. Derek, no, not like this. An unceremonious finish. Light Locust, Haymaker, that's a lot of damage. Hook, Play, Fountain gonna do a lot of damage, but not enough. Light Locust going to stay alive, but none of it matters at all because game number 1 goes to the Jaguars.
All right, now, Ethan, you got exactly what you asked for. And the reason they didn't have anyone pushing bot lane is because they wanted to show everyone possible in the top lane. They showed everyone there. They got the rotation from UBC Ruby. Everybody rotated up to the top side of the map and then heading through the jungle where they had cleared all the vision. Set got to the bot lane, and when the fighting started, he was already pushing on their tower in base. At that point, you had everybody jumping in. Yone with his 1,000,000 dashes, 200 years of gameplay design right there. Evelyn coming in with her absolute delete button. And yeah, they were under tower and it did not matter. 3 kills under a tower, which then fell, and the game ended.
I said coming in that we should be looking at the junglers, and 12, 1, and 5 from entering their masterclass of a performance on the Evelyn. And it wasn't just the ganking, Jim. It wasn't just the farming, but go back and look at some of those fights. Finding the squishy targets, finding the characters you can just delete with your R, just a boop, one click of the button, doesn't get easier than that. But in order for it to be easy, the positioning has to be great. They found it all game long. Very impressed. I'm expecting this Evelyn to be banned here for game number 2.
I absolutely think Evelyn's going to be banned in game number 2. Something to note, though, the Viego was 5-1 early on in this game. He did not score a kill or an assist in the last 11 minutes of the game. So we talked about junglers. We talked about junglers having agency. I don't know if he just dropped off. I think he just might have gotten outplayed.
I think he may have gotten outplayed indeed. We're going to find out if some more of that is coming from the jungle. Game number 1 in the books. When we return, we'll have game number 2. Welcome back here. We've got game number 2 headed away, but first, I gotta call out everybody in chat because I introduced the team wrong in my intro. I referred to the team as the wrong team name the entire game, and I've been looking through chat and no one said nothing. I'm in chat. I'm with you. I'm in there. But this is indeed UBC, University of British Columbia, and not the Bruins. So, gotta set that straight. Jim, what are we looking at heading into game number 2 here?
We're looking at me pointing out that I was saying UBC Team Ruby the entire time. So we're going to start there. But going into game number 2, we're going to look to see how the draft goes. And we're going to see it right here. They're going to jump right in. Remember, they've already done it strategically. So we're just going to see them lined up top for top, jungle for jungle, mid for mid, all the way down. And we're going to see a couple of different faces. And we were talking earlier about how much AD we had seen. Not the case here in game number 2.
Not the case at all. Evelyn did go first ban. We like that a lot. Aphelios, I think we saw that ban in game number 1. It actually was banned in the match before we got on here today in the first 2 games. So big ban right now across the leagues here, Jim. But with more AP coming into play, how is that going to be changing itemization for tanks in your mind?
With the tanks that we normally see, it really depends on the tank. For some reason there was a problem. It could have been somebody lost the ability to do bans. The Riot client, we all know Riot Games, small independent company. Sometimes there's glitches in their client, so we'll have to wait for them to get back on it. But no, most tanks have their build, and only 1 or 2 items really change. Those 1 or 2 items will change depending on the opposing team. But if you look at most tanks, their core items are not going anywhere. So I don't really think it's going to be a huge change.
You know, the way you talk about Riot, I think that you're paid by Dota. I think you're a Dota shill. Jim, you can be honest. This is a safe space. You can let us know if you work for a competing MOBA. It's okay.
No, I do not work for Dota. You're the one who said the name. I didn't even say the name. But
hey,
no.
but Dota, send the check.
Yeah,
right?
But no, and everybody knows. It's the quiet jokes we make about Riot. The 200 years of gameplay design. Every time one of the new champions comes out, 200 years of gameplay design. And yeah, Riot Games, a little independent company, doesn't have the best client. Buggy game, can't balance their game. Got to rebalance it every 2 weeks. So no, we love them though. We love Riot Games. We love everything they're doing. I'm loving the fact that, was it 2 years ago, when Riot did their 10-year anniversary, they teased a TV show, and come November, Arcane on Netflix.
It's coming.
Here's where I'm shilling. Arcane, the League of Legends TV show on Netflix, November 3rd, I believe. There's my shill, and they're not even paying me. Unlike Mr. Nellhead over there.
Send the check. Right. Send the check. All right.
No check
not
required.
To Jim. Send me the check.
Yeah. At least I can get the team name.
Hey, you shot MasterCard earlier in the cast. MasterCard, send the check. All right?
No.
All right?
I said American Express because they're tagged.
My bad, because everywhere you want to be.
Everywhere you want to be. Everywhere I want to be right now is in this draft. As we see, they've switched sides. So UBC Ruby now on the blue side, or the left side as you're looking at draft. They're trading out a Jax for a Mordekaiser, and Tom Kench being traded into instead of the set. So a brand new top lane matchup. Ethan, I'm going to let you finish taking your drink before I pitch it over to you to talk about the top lane.
You got to stay hydrated. I really like Tom Kench right now. We know how strong Tom is. Little tweaks to the ulti have been helping in closing gaps, albeit shorter gaps, and less of a, teleportation tool. It's more of a, you're 10 feet away? Cool. I'm 10 feet away as well, right next to you now. I really like the pick. The laning, actually pretty strong. Tom, not usually known as a strong laner since they changed how the Q works with the Devour stacks. You can no longer apply Devour with that tongue. That was quite some time ago, but with recent changes, Tom's actually a formidable laner. Not the only change here, Jim. My eyes are more on player changes as we do see Turkey Chicken being swapped out for FMZO there on support for UBC.
Sorry, responding to our former producer in chat, not former, last week's producer in chat as he's calling me out for something, and I don't quite know what he's calling me out for. Our producer this week, John, has been great, though. If we can get John every week, that way I don't have Michael chirping in my ear because that guy gets annoying, let me tell you. Nothing but love, Michael, nothing but love. But no, as you were talking about, difference in support here for UBC Ruby, going with the Alistar, staying with Tank, but a lot more hard engage, little less hooking going on here. Just a hard engage with the Alistar pairs really well with Kaisa, especially in the mid to late game when she can teleport in with her ultimate and drop it on top of people. The one that we were talking about though, while they were drafting strategically, the mid lane, both swapping from AD to AP and both on champions that can make people disappear.
Silas is the one to watch out for, my mind, piloted by Derek there. Can be such a massive game changer, not just with the ulti, but like you said, can delete people. Has a little bit of lifesteal on the W, I do believe it is. So is able to sustain a lot of fights, is able to pick a lot of 1v1 fights. It's just a hard champion to diagnose for the enemy team, right? That's the biggest thing in League, is knowing how powerful you are and how powerful your opponent is. So you know, can I take this engagement? Can I not? With Silas, it's a mixed bag, man. You have no idea which chocolate you're about to find when you engage.
I like that reference there. I like the reference. But the one in my mind, the biggest thing, and it's the one person we haven't talked about, the biggest thing in my mind is that Hecarim jungle. Inting my wrists had a great game on the Evelyn, and this is a completely different style of jungle. We're no longer talking about the hard assassin coming in from the rough angles. We're talking about literally the cavalry charge coming straight at you. Hecarim, the master of the early gank.
Master of the early gank and a champion that is very strong in the late game as well, right? Up, really, really up there with other champs. That's like, well, we've hit this late in the game, and we're probably just gonna lose because they have a Hecarim, right? It feels sometimes akin to like Vladimir of Days Gone, where it's like, well, this champion builds items that are great, right? Just gold efficient items. This champion is super mobile. This champion does a lot of damage. So you put those two things together, and it's like just so tough to be in the late game. I do like the Viego run back. Lauga and Ma, as you said, started 5-1 last game, was able to impact the bot lane in a lot of varied ways. I'm expecting a lot more activity here early on out of this Viego.
And let's just see if he can keep it up. Like you said, he started 5-1 and then fell off the table. Let's see if he can keep it ahead of him here in game 2. Now, talking a lot about carries as we've got a minute left here. Who do you think is the hardest carry late game in League of Legends right now?
Right now? Well, you know, it's got to be me on the Zillion, baby. That's it. That's it. Double bomb, dime droppers. But if we're being honest, it's really hard for me to say it's not somebody like Vayne. I think that Vayne's in a not is not in a bad spot in the meta, but when you have the roll and the condemn, right? How often are ADCs bringing two forms of peel baked into their own kit, Jim? It's just not very often. I mean, you've got Ezreal in this game, which I think is not a bad pick. Kaisa, I think we've got two of them right here. I think two strong candidates, but for me right now, it's Vayne. What do you got?
Maybe a dark horse pick, and chat will let me know if they think I'm wrong. But I played a couple of them the other day, and it was just so rough. We were so far ahead, and it just didn't matter. Kassadin, late game carry.
Oh, yeah.
Late game carry extraordinaire on the Kassadin.
Kassadin can get massive. I mean, talk about Rift Walk, right? You just have as many times as you can spam that button, you got flash, right? It's up, it's up, it's up, it's up, it's up. So you can just keep going, and I like that pick a lot too, Jim. We're on the current patch heading into Worlds. Now, we're actually a patch ahead of them, I do believe. Any hot Worlds predictions? Will this be NA's year, Jim?
Hot prediction, no.
I think that's about as cold as you can get. Jim pulling his takes from the back of the freezer. You know what? NA's gonna. I think NA's gonna surprise people. I think they're gonna win one big game. Well, I think they're gonna. One of the NA teams is gonna make it out of groups, and I think they're gonna win one big game where everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, is that NA for real?" And then they're gonna get dumpstered the next game.
Let's be honest. TSM did the one thing that they could possibly do to get a better speed run than last year's 0-6. They just didn't show up. But with that being said, we're getting ready. Nothing but love, TSM, nothing but love. With that being said, we're jumping into game 2 here.
They found the skip. You know, that's making the speedrunning feel like,
skip.
New trick. Don't show up.
Yeah. So
you
we're
save
at
the money on the tickets.
Save
the
the
same
money.
result.
And we're gonna pause at 10 seconds once again.
Oh
man, we're both going places and none of them are good, Ethan. We're both going places and none of them are good.
Speak for yourself, all right? I mean, I'm about to graduate college in December. I'd like to think I'm going somewhere good. Whether or not that's back to school at Upper Iowa University, we're gonna find out, Jim. I'm paused at 10 seconds. Are you paused at 10 seconds?
I am paused at 10 seconds. I don't even pay him for that shill, folks. He shills for free.
So, production, are we paused at 10 seconds? Count us in then.
All right, so here we go. This time, UBC Ruby going to be on the blue side. South Alabama, the Jaguars going to be on the top. That means UBC Ruby going to be going uphill, as I like to say, from the bottom left to the top right, and opposing them down, coming downhill. I always liked coming downhill. Is the Jaguars. So a color swap here. And it looks like a 5-point for the Jaguars. Modified entrance guarding here as well on the side of UBC Ruby. I don't think we're going to see an invade. Neither one of these jungles really known for hot invades. So I think we're just going to see people hanging out. I do like... go ahead.
I'd say I don't have anything important to say. I'm also a bigger fan of going downhill. Just being from Wisconsin, sledding is kind of our state recognized recreational activity. Big fan of going downhill. But if you've got actual analysis, you should go for it.
I don't. I really don't. I think.
All right.
I think we all know. That I don't have any actual analysis. Somebody in chat calling me out for being wrong about something. Yeah, you're gonna have to be more specific, man. I'm wrong about a lot.
Or if you put the hashtag before it, it's valid every time. Hashtag Jim's wrong.
Oh, my opinion on Cassidy. Gotcha. Okay.
Bad opinion, Jim.
Bad opinion, Jim. Makes me feel good. Makes me know that people are watching. There we go. In the mid lane, trading, trying to start already. Basically high. Getting the first touch there against Derek. Second touch as well. As the farming simply continues. Both lanes actually just hanging out. And, it looked like Donnie and Fellflame kind of hanging up behind their wave, didn't want to show early, maybe trying to throw the fake out, maybe trying to let them think that they were leashing when in fact they were not. As Viego started on red buff and so did Hecarim. So it is split junglers right now, one top side, one bot side. We'll see if that continues. As a little bit of trading coming in here on the bot side. The directed camera tried to go mid lane for a second, decided not to. Now up in the top lane is Light Locust trying to do a little bit of bullying himself. Comes into the passive there from Wabi Salili on the Mordekaiser. Didn't seem to care. Potion dropped by the Mordekaiser. You'll see this game, no corrupting potions on the top or the mid laner. So maybe they learned their lesson about trying to play too much for the early game.
Or that refillable pot is going to turn into a corrupting pot there on Derek, but wanted to start with that Dark Seal, which is a decision I do highly respect. You just saw the strong laning out of Tom Kench on the top side. The Kench unbenched, unlog the frog, however you want to say it. Tom Kench looks great right now in current league. Never been happier to have him back in the top lane.
Well, I'm not allowed to say on TV what I call Tom Kench, but I am not a fan, and I'll let you know it right now, Ethan.
Well, Jim, I think you might be a fan of this gang. Laugon Ma making their way up top side.
Yeah, he's in the river. Let's see if he actually goes all the way up.
Not going to find anything there on the top side. You look back at that scoreboard, farm pretty even on the bot side and across the board. Of course, we are here early on. The only one I'd watch out for farm differential. Oh, and we're all evened up in the jungle. Once again, junglers determine so much of this game as Inting does pick up a scuttle there. And these two junglers, but especially Inting, can really get it done as we might see a double gank here mid lane.
Yeah, we might see gank, counter gank here in the mid lane. Oh, Inting gets there first, gonna get stunned out, but basically High has to run away. They are too low to continue that fight. Inting gonna get a good trade there. and Derek gonna get some free farm. Basically high, has to back. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, fight starts as well. FMZVO, that one's not gonna be hard to say ever. Going in onto the Ezreal, getting the Ezreal flash as Ezreal had been ignited. And then Ezreal in the back throwing the circle, unable to pop it though. So the trading goes in favor of UBC Ruby on that one. Something we didn't talk about was the substitution. Turkey Chicken out FMZVO. Man, that's really not going to be hard to say.
I'm gonna just say FM. It's like the radio. FM. It's all good all day long. But you're right. Substitution aside, we don't know much about FM here, Jim. But the one thing I will say is that I always do worry about subs just because you haven't been playing, right? You're a little bit cold. The turkey was already hot when they were in. Not a big fan of pulling them.
Yeah, and that's an interesting call because Turkey Chicken was not the problem in that last game. Not at all.
Yeah.
All right, so
absolutely couldn't agree more. But Enting coming in here, they might try to find a gank. Watch out, devastating charge is so big, displaces enemies.
There's the in.
Lau's there.
Fellflame came in. Inting is in. Oh, FMZVO gonna be in a little bit of trouble. Gonna make it out. They are on fire, but I think they have the healing to survive. Just barely there. Something else to mention last game. Oh, as Ming B not done yet. Donnie Diamond living on the edge, barely makes his way out. Something though that we hadn't talked about is that heal. Ming B has heal this time around, not running the cleanse. And Ignite on FMZVO and not running Exhaust. And a return gank coming in from Inting. Fellflame goes in on Ming B. They're not going to quite have everything they need. Fellflame ran out of mana. Derek, though, trying to get a kill in the mid lane. Gets a flash for a flash. Not going to be able to hit the final ability. First blood, though, going to Inting my wrist on the Hecarim as they basically made a big circle, came back through Tribush, and ganked the bot lane once again.
Yeah, beautiful play there by Inting. Devastating charge into the Rampage. So much displacement, so much damage. FM caught out of position. Derek not able to finish off basically high there in the mid lane. Looked like they had it. The ability is, I think it's the W, it's called Kingslayer, where you get some of that health back, doing also a lot of damage. Just wasn't quite enough to finish off here. You see FM looking for a gank here, a bit of a sandwich. Derek popping out.
And just unfortunate there that basically high, they will get there, never mind. Basically high will definitely get there in time, and I think Derek is going to go down. He is ignited, and that it will be FMZVO on a great roam there to the mid lane. Ties it back up in the kill department. But unfortunately, FMZVO got the kill. Couldn't put the kill onto basically high. Might come back to haunt them just a little bit. We're talking though, a bit of a shift on the farm, as farm advantage in the bot lane going to Ming B right now.
Yeah, the farm advantage there is big, and it's going to be unfortunate, the last tick of that Ignite. It's interesting that the farm advantage is this big. It's not something I would expect with FM roaming mid, right? So out of lane, you think Ming B's going to get bullied, but that's not the case. The Kaisa just really strong right here. Fellflame coming in here, Jim.
There it is. They get knocked away, though. Good peel from FMZVO for the Kaisa, knocking Fellflame away, taking the crowd control, and then getting the knock away. Donnie Diamond just not able to get the damage they need down. Just not able to find the damage they need. Luckily for them, though, they are able to pick up some farm, not drop any further behind. So FMZVO doing a very good job countering the Leona, saving their abilities for when the Leona comes in, and doing a really good job of peeling here for Ming B. And Ming B, for their credit, is dealing the damage where the damage needs to get dealt. Looking for another skirmish somewhere around the map here. Viego at Drake early, and it looks like he has started the Drake. He's in the dark there. USA does not know that he is there. He's calling for assistance. Silas is kind of hanging out. Nobody knows he's there. This is completely in the dark. Great play there from the UBC Ruby jungle.
And actually on the top lane, Light Locust might go down here. Jim has to flash away, so Lily, hot pursuit, flashes to respond. Light Locust turns around, gets a little bit of health. Oh my gosh, the eat, but it's not going to be enough.
Not quite enough there. Quick kill for Wowie Salili in the top lane. Laugon Ma goes bot lane. Fell gonna go down, and I don't think they're gonna try. Sorry, I've been watching too much Rav. Looking for the banana on that. It is not banana shaped on that skin though. As Inting comes in, looking to get some help. Inting able to take out Kaisa, Ezreal able to re-engage on the Alistar. So what was a really great gank coming out of UBC Ruby turns into an even better counter gank as Inting Myris gets there just in time with the Hecarim to help the double. One for him, one for Ezreal.
South Alabama turned a bad thing into a great thing, Jim. That's like when you go into that dive restaurant and there's cockroaches on the wall and you're like, ooh, I want to get out of here. But then you smell the food and you're like, oh my gosh, why have I not been here sooner? Why am I thinking about leaving? That's what happened. The cockroaches and the writing were on the wall. It looked like they lost out on that gank, but all of a sudden, Inting comes through on the backside and is able to clean it up. They get some kills out of it. They're up 1,000 gold despite not securing that first drag, and Inting might get caught out here.
Knocked away by the Alistar, but however, basically High couldn't take advantage. The fight continues here, and they're just going to walk out. Just couldn't take advantage of it. Could basically High. Too much reposition possibly from the Alistar. I think basically High wasn't looking to have to go back into the Raptor pit.
Yeah, definitely awkward positioning right there. Nothing does come. A bit of some pinging here on the bot side. Keep your eyes on that as we do see a fight up top here. Little Locust might be in a little bit of trouble.
A lot of trouble here as Laugan Ma shows up. Gonna have to try to just straight run away from that. Laugan Ma not gonna try to dive him. As we see a fight in the mid lane though, a lot of abilities coming out there. Derek trying to do work, will not be able to take it all the way. Didn't have enough lifesteal there. Basically High gets a solo kill there in the mid lane. Might be what they need. They were the only lane down farm. So now they'll be able, they got their money, they got their ill-gotten gains, gonna be able to go turn it into items. Come back and get some farm.
That was such a big kill. We talked about how basically High struggled last game. I believe ended with a KD of 0.63, something in that neighborhood. It was definitely 0.6. Don't remember the assist number. So getting that kill solo has to feel good, has to feel liberating. Going up against Derek saying, yeah, I can lane against you. I can get kills against you. I'm not the inferior player. I had a bad showing. That's going to do wonders, not only on the scoreboard, Jim, but also for the confidence.
Absolutely going to do great things for the confidence. As minor skirmishes all over the map right now, it looks like trying to look maybe like they were looking at Rift Herald up there, but saw that the scuttle belonged to UBC Ruby, couldn't quite go for Rift Herald. However, Inting looking top lane, looking for that Mordekaiser kill. And the last thing that UBC Ruby wants to see, the last thing, is a fed Hecarim. But taking their time, waiting up there, fight maybe in the bot lane here. Fellflame took a lot of damage, but the engage did not come through. So, and Inting now just going to sit there. They're going to hover their back, and they're going to stay. Oh.
Almost action. Almost action ever. Everyone
Here it comes.
Here it is.
Here it is. Inting coming in, gets a really good move there. Taken into the Death Realm. I can't tell which one of them is in the Death Realm. It's Inting that's in the Death Realm. They're most likely going to go... No, they're able to get out at the very last minute. Fighting in the bot lane as well. Fellflame is going to go down here. They will go down to Kaisa. But however, Tom Kench will get the kill in the top lane. Wowie Salili goes down to what turns into a decent gank. It's so hard to gank Mordekaiser because of the Shadow Realm, of the Death Realm. But good work there from the combination. Didn't lose anyone top lane, got the kill. Meanwhile, traded it for the kill on Ming V in the bot lane.
And what we also have to notice in the bot lane here, Jim, is Ezreal's caught up in farm and is also 201, has shutdown gold, but they are looking for that shutdown gold right here. Donnie Diamond might be in a bit of trouble.
There's the ult, but here's the Fellflame coming in with the ultimate. Power of the Sun. Can't evade the sun forever. Got the double stun, got Donnie Diamond out. And here we go, the re-engage coming in here. Fellflame going in, gets a little bit with the Zenith Blade. Gonna have Donnie Diamond on the side, throw in the ult, missed everyone just barely. What was that hitbox? I think they might want their money back on that one. 4v4 here at the Dragon Pit. Wowie Solidly does have teleport. Light Locust does not. And they're looking like they might want this fight. They have aggroed onto the Drake. And it looks like they're going to try to pull it out. And Alistar back, so the engage missing for UBC Ruby at the moment. We're seeing the top lane fight because nobody engaged at the Drake. Free Drake going over the way of USA.
Yeah, and UBC just forgot their sunblock today. Solar Flare doing so much. Fellflame has been on target both games now, back-to-back games on this Leona, really harnessing every ounce of CC that character has. As we said earlier, it's like a tattoo. The CC's intrinsic to the character. You have to play to its strengths. It's etched into who Leona is, and as a result, it's etched in to Fellflame's play today.
Yeah, Fellflame has been on point today. I don't know why. Chat has absolutely been flaming us for the past couple of minutes here. So I'm trying to figure out what we did wrong, Ethan. I'm trying to figure out what we did wrong. Turkey Chicken, how's it going in the chat? Love to hear your take on what's going on in this one. So more skirmishing going on here. A lot of action has been in the top lane. Although we can see 3 on the minimap roaming here. Look at the vision control outside of Rift Herald currently for South Alabama.
Oh no, Jim. This might result in something. Salili getting gone in on here. Gets the Devour, but no one's there. I think that Light Locust thought there seems to be there. It might not matter. Light Locust putting in work here, Jim.
Light Locust putting in work. Here's the rest of the team. They all finally showed up. Light Locust bought time for everyone. And Wowie Salili gonna have a problem. Gonna get back under tower. Inting will be able to ult out, but they ult right into FMCBO. Basically High using abilities to close down on them. Fellflame though able to take out Laugan Ma, but the shutdown does come through. Basically High taking out on the Hecarim. That's gonna be the last thing they do though, is they get absolutely deleted as the rest of Inting's team is here. Alistar goes down as well. Good trading there from South Alabama, who still has vision control over the Rift Herald. They might be going for first tower here. They have 3 here. Chasing the Kaisa is Fellflame and Light Locust, but the TP is going to come in. They're going to back it up.
Yes, Salili here.
Derek hiding in the bush. Good flash away there.
Big
Good
fight.
flash away there.
Big
fight.
Big fight, Jim. But you know what I gotta say? That we didn't say in game 1, but I think was true. This feels like a Fellflame difference. Fellflame came through, proc the passive, got the CC on the autos, or not the autos. It's on the Q, I believe. It's one of the basic abilities. Your next auto, hard CCs, and Fellflame has just come up so big for them in team fights, and it's been understated. It's not even really showing up in the stat sheet, right? 1-2-2, you know, like that's not a great game. But I think Fellflame has been doing so much work, Jim. I don't think that chat is flaming us as much as they are flaming the auto spectate feature.
Oh, I was talking about it a little bit earlier, but that's fine. That's fine. I was trying to figure out. I'll ask him later. We'll ask him later. We'll find out. Fighting again in the top lane. Light Locust living under that tower almost. Not the best place to be against a Mordekaiser who can pull you back under it. Takes him to the Death Realm. Gets a stun onto him. Oh, great dodge there of the Nightbringer.
Look at the map. Leona coming up with Hecarim there, the top side.
And Derek in the bot side, able to get a kill on to basically High, and Light Locust moves that fight all the way back to their own tower, taking Mordekaiser out. Just pure outplays top and bot in the 1v1.
And they didn't even need the help. The cavalry came, but they just sat back and watched as Light Locust did the work. They're going to dive this tower, Jim, one way or another. I think someone is going to die here. Blood will be spilt, or maybe not. Light Locust and the rest of the crew just backing. Obviously, Silas also backing the bot side. We have a big neutral up. Dragon will be up here very soon in just 50 seconds. So everyone feels like they're kind of preparing for that. We'll see who gets prio on the vision here. My gut is to say that it will be the Jaguars. They're hovering around the pit. And you see Fellflame once again setting up. Fellflame has been so big this game, doing all of the little things right.
Yeah, no, Fellflame has been doing the little things right. I'm surprised nobody went for the Rift Herald. It's only up for another minute 35. I thought for sure South Alabama was set on it twice, in fact. Never followed through on it, though. But you are correct. Infernal Drake gonna be up here very shortly, less than 45 seconds, and we will see if somebody is going to make a big fight over that one. I'm really hoping somebody takes a really late Rift Herald. I would love to see a Dancing Herald.
As would I. UBC looks like they're going to be content contesting this over the back of pit here, Jim. Setting up some bush Wookiee action, just got real Ewok vibes from Star Wars here. Just waiting, little guerrilla warfare. FM looking for it. They're moving into that bush, and it's all kicking off, Jim.
He engages right there. He might have gone a little bit too far and gets cut off by the Hecarim ultimate coming in there. So this is a really scattered team fight. People are all over. In the top lane, Light Locust takes a tower. Kaisa a kill onto Derek. Kaisa gets a kill onto Felflame, so 2 kills on the Kaisa. South Alabama in full retreat is I stop being able to speak there for a second. Double goes to Kaisa. They really did need that one. Getting Kaisa into this game, as she was a little bit low on the table there as far as items go. Double kill, gets the Infernal, and no one taking the Rift Herald, as it will despawn for the Baron to come up. Meanwhile, though, as I was trying to say during the fight, Light Locust taking that tier 1 tower in the top lane. I'm not going to say a tower is worth 2 lives, but at least it wasn't for free.
Yeah, Jim, I know Viego's a new champ here, but I didn't know they had an ability just a little though. As Entei going in here, looking for something, can't find it. Derek teleporting in on through. Alistar just going to back right there middle lane. FMZO thinking better of it. We've reached an interesting state of the game here, Jim. Team fight just won from UBC handily. They just picked up their second drag, but you look across the map and you see that it's still being dominated. What does winning that team fight mean? What does that give them?
It gives them hope, is what that gives them. Kaisa got her mythic off that, I do believe. So that's huge. Kaisa getting parity with the Ezreal is absolutely massive. She's still down 500 gold, though. That's something to think about. Kaisa down 500 gold. 300 gold down in the mid lane is Diana. In the jungle, let's not talk about the jungle. In the top lane, 1,700 gold lead for Light Locust over Wowie Salili. And because we actually should probably talk about it, it's a 1,700 gold difference in the jungle, as Laogan Ma, back on the Viego, not having as good a day as game number 1.
Yeah, big differential there. And Laogan Ma, you said it, popped off game 1, 5-1 start. Game 2 here, Inting has just been all over the place and been doing everything that they can. Generate a large goal difference. Little Locust might be out of place here, but Felflame coming out through. Gets CC'd out of their ult here, Jim. Little bit of a scrap.
Light Locust getting caught out, uses the flash, gets over while trying to survive. Looks like steal the blue buff here. Unable to do it. Laogan Ma says, no, that's my blue buff. I've got the smite for it. Hey, chat, let's go ahead and let's not be like mean in the chat there, guys. You know who I'm talking to. Let's keep it clean in the chat there, guys. But no, great play there. Light Locust getting out of the way, flashing over the wall. So yeah, no, it was well played there by Light Locust, taking a lot of attention and then being able to get out. At the moment, the vision difference so critical. If we take a look, if our producer back there can hear me, if he can kill the all vision and just show us vision from UBC Ruby's side, that would be great. Because it is a dark place to be if you're UBC Ruby right now.
A great point out right there. UBC, Jim, when they got kind of, they say everyone's got a plan till you get punched in the face. They got punched in the face and they kind of forgot what their plan was, right? Their plan was playing fundamental League of Legends, getting kills off of ganks, pushing neutral objectives, and warding. Warding is a transition piece between all of those things, right? You only know that you can push those neutrals when you spot out multiple players out of position. They've lost their glue here, Jim. They're not doing the little things right. And they've got to figure that out here in a hurry if they don't want to lose another game to South Alabama.
And we don't want to see it either. We would love to see a game 3 here. Me and Ethan don't want to go home yet. Me and Ethan, we got more to say to each other. We don't want to go home.
Oh, absolutely. It's a sad day whenever I have to part with Coach Jim. It's very sad. Many tears are shed. I rip my clothes. I mourn. It's really tough all around. So game 3 would be fantastic here. Always down for some more League of Legends here in the NECC.
Speaking of down, UBC Ruby currently down 2 towers. I don't believe they took a tower in game 1 either. So at the moment, still looking for their first tower fall of the match. Still about a 4,000 gold lead here as we get to the 24-minute mark. So 4,000 gold, not as bad as game 1, where I believe at the 24-minute mark they were down 1,000. So we will find out on that one. But everything kind of calmed down for a moment here. As we take a look, everyone has their mythic at this point, secondary items on a couple of people. And we will see something to point out, though.
Oh,
4 level difference. Oh, there we go. Going in here, there's the engage. Wait, the counter engage coming. There is Inting on the Hecarim, able to knock the Kai'Sa out of the fight. Viego goes down first. Ming B on the Kai'Sa being chased. They'll go down as well. I heard a couple of flashes come out. I think Donnie Diamond was one of them. No, Felflame was one of them trying to survive. Felflame goes down, as does FMZVO, so both supports out of the game at the moment. Woe Salili goes down, as does the Mordekaiser. It's a full ace there. A 2 for 3. No, I take that back. A 1 for 5. My math was so wrong. A 1 for 5 there. And that could be the first nail that goes into the coffin here of UBC Ruby, as that's going to be a Drake, and that will most likely be a Baron as well here, Ethan.
Welcome to the slaughterhouse. Inting got in there, used the E, used the R, and then just went absolutely ham on the Q. Rampage after rampage after rampage after rampage. So much damage coming through on the Hecarim, just leading the charge gem. It was a thing of beauty seeing that onslaught of shadows come through. We might see an attempted steal here from Laugan Ma.
Might see an attempted steal. Goes into it. Looking for it, and he gets it! And he gets it! Laugan Ma steals the Baron. That's all he gets for the moment. Pays for it with his life, as does FMZVO, as does Ming B on the Kai'Sa. So they steal the Baron, and at this point, it's more of a denial as 3 members of UBC Ruby go down. They're still probably going to lose at least 1 tower here just on the respawns, but denying the Baron for an even bigger push. And once again, I just cannot talk tonight, Ethan.
Hello, officer. I'd like to report a robbery. Laugan Ma not having the greatest game here in game number 2, but still showing up, still putting on for UBC. Says, you know what? Being in Canada is not all about being nice. Give me that Baron.
It was a great use of the abilities to get into the pit, just unable to be crowd controlled away from it. Just great use there, as well as Salili trying to come in here on Inting. Something to note, the supports doing support things are so under-leveled right now. It's kind of hard to watch when the supports end up. They're both engaged supports. They both end up in the middle, and they're both 3, 4, or 5 levels down on the people they're going into.
Yeah, and you touched on it a little bit. I don't want to move on from Laugan's play just yet. Using that Herald path to pop the mist up, and is able to sneak in undetected. They tried to find the CC gem, but you just can't hit what you cannot see, and they're finally going to crack a tower here. Inting, Belflame can do nothing to stop it. They steal the Baron, they plant the seeds, and they reap the rewards.
Absolutely, they did there. The only downside to that was that when Laugan Ma, man, I'm going to get a name right one of these days, Ethan. When Laugan Ma went in there, he should have gone in alone. There was no way they were going to take the fight after the Baron steal. Losing 2 members of the team after the steal really did hurt them, and meant that they could only really push 1 lane with the Baron buff.
Yeah, a little bit over-eager, but at the end of the day, they got to be happy with the results. You're down 8k gold. Taking away a neutral objective is so big, and we kind of got a repeat of last game with the Dragons. I think we won a 2-0, and now it's 2 straight Dragons for the Jaguars. UBC just cannot hold on to a neutral objective lead, so getting that Baron is all that much bigger, Jim. Wrestling that away, saving your towers, you're buying yourself time, which is exactly what you need to be doing in this game.
It is. Unfortunately for them, Inting My Wrist having another great game. 8-1-5 currently on the Hecarim. And let's not forget to talk about Donnie Diamond down there in the bot lane. Somehow, after all the ganks, after all the team fights, still deathless 3-0-7 on that Ezreal.
Perfect KDA, Jim. That's right. You can send the gank. You can send the double gank. You can send the counter gank. You can have an engagement where you can do all you want, but I'm not going to die like Ming B might here on the top side.
Speaking of engagement, caught out Ming B. Okay, I was going to say, if they got out of that one, I was going to call up my agent, tell him I found the next magician for the act. Ming B, unfortunately, though, unable to get out there. They did grab high cooldown abilities, though, from both Hecarim and from Fellflame. But it was worth it there for the pick. FMZVO comes in right here, gets them under tower. Tower trying to do some work. I think Light Locust had the tower aggro, so just wasn't taking the damage. Tower not doing everything they needed to as they lose Lao Ganba. They lose basically high. FMZVO trying to get out, just being denied exit there by Inting My Wrist, who's going to get caught into the death realm here with Wowie Solili. But the rest of the team going to fight through the tower as they're going to try to come to his rescue. You saw Fellflame there with an attempted guess at where Wally Solili going to come out of the death realm there, and that will be enough to crack the base open. Mid lane tower goes down.
And Mingbi reconnects after a quick disconnect there. Unfortunate, but it happens from time to time. Inting was caught out in jail, and the whole squad shows up to just bust him out. Prison break. They got what they wanted. Jim, they didn't have to give up anything for it, and they get the dragon on the backside. One drag away from Soul. They are finding the tools to put the finishing touches on this game, and it is a scary, scary place if you are UBC. This game only gets harder from here.
It does, and it's really nice. Let's go back and say it is really nice when your whole squad shows up with bail money. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like,
When everybody's got enough for bail, you know it's a good night.
It's a good night when everybody's got enough for bail. And just unfortunate there, just getting dove under towers. South Alabama not caring about the towers. They dove under one, they dove under a second, saying, nope, we don't care. Our tanks are bigger than your tanks. Light Locust just eating his way to a bigger, better body on Tahm Kench.
And it's going to need that bigger, better body, Jim. Bit of an engage right here. Looks like it's going to come to nothing. Too much beef for the opposition to handle. And you're right, that tier 2 tower was up for so long and was just pecking away life totals, but it didn't matter. They were having a party, a bit of a fiesta under the tower, eating tower shots left and right, finding kills, and it led to a cracked base. They're 5-stacking, they're rotating top. This team is running thick as thieves.
They are, and it's actually, I think, a good thing that UBC Ruby didn't engage on the Tahm Kench there. The entirety of South Alabama was waiting. I think Kench was the bait.
I agree. And you know who's been quiet this game? We talked about the Diana a little bit pregame. As Jim, I'm going to toss it over to you. We've got a Baron call right here. Keep your eyes on Derek on the top side of your screen. Gets the Alistar ulti. Probably not what they wanted from Hijack.
Nope, and Fellflame comes in, only gets one with the Solar Flare. Inting comes in on the side. This is not the best engagement here from South Alabama. They're too spread out. Viego gets a kill onto Inting My Wrist. Ezreal does get a kill onto basically High. And Ezreal gets a second kill there, and they're gonna get away with it. They're gonna get away with what could have been a poor engage, but it's gonna end up being a 1-for-5 Baron. They're just gonna go end the game. I think the game is just gonna end.
Wave's coming right down mid. Yeah, I don't think they have what it takes to stop this. The respawn timers, they're at about half a minute here, Jim. This inhibitor, good is gone. Teleport coming through from base. I think you can find the G button on your keyboard and tap it twice.
I think that might be what happens here. And I don't know. I think that one came down to money, Ethan. That was a money team fight. The engage from South Alabama was not clean. They got way too separated, did not have a clean engage, but they had the item advantage, and at the end of the day, it showed.
It did indeed show. South Alabama improves to 1-1 on the season with an impressive sweep, and this remains one of the most polarizing divisions here in League of Legends for the NECC. Whole lot of sweeps, not a whole lot of games. You said it best there. They got the early lead and they banked on it. That was their insurance for the last fight. Poor engagement right here. This was the difference right here. They had the items. Of course, my wallet's empty being in college. So the money difference. The money difference.
Oh, yeah. The money talks all day. All day money talks. Donnie Diamond, who did not have the greatest game. Not a bad game in game one, but not the greatest game in game one. 6 0-10. Perfect KDA. I believe they also had, no, they did not have top farm. Ming B had top farm. What do you know? And actually, Inting My Wrist had top cash. Donnie Diamond, though, coming up big at the end there, getting the double to secure that team fight off the bad engage.
And you know what? Soon it should be Donnie Challenger, right? With that type of play, you got to be rising up from the ranks. Gonna leave Diamond in the dust here sooner rather than later. Jim, South Alabama taking care of business against UBC. Any closing thoughts on what we just saw?
Oh man. I was not expecting that tonight. I'll be honest. I was absolutely not expecting it. We talked about it a little bit. I can't remember if it was on stream. I think it was off stream. We talked about the fact that both junglers were actually the lowest ranked as far as the ranks we saw go on both teams. Both junglers gold 1. Highest ranked person in that match, Wowie Salili, and I still hope I'm saying that correctly. The only diamond member in that match, everybody else was platinum. And the junglers, neither one of them played like gold. I thought both junglers had great games. You called it out in game 1 that it was going to come down to jungle diff, and it did a little bit. Laugan Ma did not have a terrible game 2. Didn't get as far ahead as game 1. I think South Alabama just did a really good job with the vision, calling out where Laugan Ma was on that Viego, stayed a little bit safer, so he couldn't get quite as fed early. But I still think he had a really good game and a great Baron steal near the end.
Yeah, the Baron steal was so big on the Viego, but it just was too little, too late. They couldn't quite put up the fight that they needed, and game goes over to the Jaguars. I'm excited to see what they do with the rest of their season. Jim, you've got exciting news. You've got a Twitter handle. What is it?
I don't know if that's exciting news.
It's exciting news!
I think me having a Twitter handle is something I should have had a long time ago, Ethan. So I don't think it's really exciting. But Coach Jim has Twitter now at Coach_Jim L. If you want to tweet at me, feel free. I will try to respond. Don't hold your breath. We'll see. We'll see if I can get back into it. Just to show my age here, Ethan, I was a junior in college when Twitter began.
Jim, you don't have to do that to yourself.
I was a junior in college.
You didn't have to do that to yourself, Jim.
I'm old. I am very old.
You didn't have to. You know what? If hashtag dad bod god and or hashtag the pants, we can get that little trending on Twitter. Jim and I will do a shirtless stream. That's all. I've confirmed it. Don't ask the commissioner.
Nobody wants
Don't
to
ask
see
the
that.
staff. Don't ask the NECC. It's a promise right here, right now. And with that, we're gonna end the stream. Just a little tease. You know, you might see a little shoulder one day or another. Hopefully, it will be sooner rather than later. From everybody here at the NECC, thank you to production in the back of house, really in our headsets here. Thank you to Jim. Thank you to everybody in Twitch chat and the 2 teams that play. This is where college esports lives, and we will see you next Friday for some more League of Legends.